told you 2 minutes ago.
Oh man, I wasn't paying attention.
I know you're gonna dig this.
And second and 2. Handoff goes to the captain of the middle. Finds and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also hosting Murray Baskerville from Carroll, Baltimore, Maryland. These are your hosts, bringing the ultimate experience for the ultimate sports fan. Be sure to download the Try 99 on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is 95 cents. Thank you in advance for your support. Now sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.
You know, it's so nice. We always want to do it twice. Good evening, everybody. This is K Dix. It is April the 24th. This is the last Monday in the month of April. So, you know, when we last Monday of every month, we're going to do the YouTube, we're going to do the television, and we're going to do live on the Facebook page. So hopefully you guys can check us out on the Facebook page as well. We got a lot of stuff to go over tonight. Real quick, man, if you don't know it, if you don't know yet, if you don't know by now, your boy Aaron Rodgers is now a JETS, Jets. The deal has went through, and he is now a New York Jet. He's wearing a different green. It don't look like he's lean in the green, but he's wearing a different green. And if you look at that contract, oof, I don't know. I think they're gonna have to renegotiate some of that money, though. I think that was one of the things they probably sat down and talked to him about. Is probably restructuring his contract. So I'm looking here. I don't see. Last time we did the show, it didn't show up on the page, and I don't know if it's in delay mode or what mode, or I don't know what mode it's in right now. I don't see it right now, but hopefully it'll pop up on here. But before we go on, we know we got to do our baseball thing. Okay, and we got a little bit more baseball to talk about this time around than we had before. We want to talk about, because we're going to talk about them Oakland A's moving to Las Vegas. They did like the Baltimore Colts. They snuck out in the middle of the night. So let's get with it, right? So in the major leagues standing at 2020 at the 2023 season, you got the Tampa Bay Rays who probably got the best record in the major leagues right now. Not even, I'm just guessing, but they probably are. 19-3. They won 5 games in a row. They're 7-3 in the last 10. The Baltimore Orioles, ladies and gentlemen, are 14-7. They won 6 games in a row. They're 8-2 in the last 10. Baltimore was playing good baseball at the end of the season last year. We're going to talk about some surprise teams and stuff like that going forward as well. The Yankees and the Rays and the Blue Jays are tied at 13-9. In the Central Division, we got the Minnesota Twins, who are 12-10, lost 1. They're 4-6 in the last 10. You got the Cleveland Guardians. I still don't know what a Guardian is. Somebody need to tell me what a Guardian is. If you're a Cleveland fan, tell me what a Guardian. I don't want to know about the G. I want to know about the Guardian. Only Guardian that I know of, Mo, is the ones that play in the Marvel comics, the Guardians, and I don't know if that could be. I just don't know. I
Guardian
just
Angel.
don't know, brother.
I looked at the logo last week. It's a Guardian Angel.
So it's wings.
It's like a Guardian Angel. So remember when they had the outfit? Even though that's for the A's. I mean for the Oakland. I mean for the Los Angeles, Anaheim Angels.
So
That's
so
what
they
it
got
looks
God
like.
involved. So you got God involved in sports now. You know that.
Well, all I'm
never-
saying is it has a G and then it has wings. So hey, it don't
Okay.
stand for the duck.
Okay. Next up in the West, we got the Texas Rangers 14-7. They won 2 in a row. They're 7-10 in the last 10. You got the Houston Astros 12-10. They're second place. They won 4 in a row. They're 7-3 in the last 10. National League, you got the Atlanta Braves, Dana's Club, 14-8. Lost 4 in a row. Wow. They 64 in the last 10. You got the New York Mets who are 14-9. Lost 2 in a row. They're 7-3 in the last 10. You got the NL champions, Philadelphia Phillies, who are 11-12, who won 3 in a row. They're 7-3 last, and they're coming around. They're coming around. Pittsburgh Pirates doing their thing, baby. Pennsylvania doing their thing. Pittsburgh Pirates 16-7. They won 7 in a row. They're 8-2 in the last 10, hottest team, and they're probably the hottest team in the National League right now. Man, look at the Pirates do their thing, man. It's been a long, long time. I was a kid when they had We Are Family with Star Joe and those guys won the World Series, and I think the Pittsburgh Steelers might have won the Super Bowl that year. They didn't have a basketball team, so they can't get no credit for the basketball team. But We Are Family was in tune then. At the West, you got the Arizona Diamondbacks are 12-11, lost 2 in a row. They're 4-6 in the last 10. You got the Los Angeles Dodgers who 12-11, who's won 2 in a row, who's 5-5 in the last 10. You got the San Diego Padres who got Tatis back. I love Tatis. He just need to have that blue and white Dodger uniform on, man. I love him though. I love his energy. He remind me of Yasiel Puig. You know what I'm saying? They go over the top on everything they do. You know what I'm saying? But Yasiel Puig didn't use no steroids. He didn't do no steroids. He like fast car and fast women. And he would drive like 125 with his mom in the car. You know what I'm saying? Who does that? Okay, so you got the Padres who are 12-12, who won 2 in a row, 5-5 last year. I'm just gonna say this: out West, the one team gonna make the playoffs. That's it. Because they're gonna be so even. And if you look at the predictions right now, they're predicting for the Padres to win the division with 89 wins. So they might even have a losing record. 89 wins. That's a lot of that's not a lot of wins in baseball, especially when you're playing 120 some games, man. That's still not a lot of wins. When you should see in 90s, 92, 93, 94s. Okay, so basically what we're doing, and everybody know that we got the contest going on, and I posted the question in the chat room, on Facebook page. In order for you to win, you have to call into the show. And basically what the question is, who's the only NFL team to never have a Pro Bowl wide receiver? Never have a Pro Bowl wide receiver. Okay. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying that they traded for a Pro Bowl wide receiver, because when he got there, he wasn't a Pro Bowl wide receiver. He was a Pro Bowl wide receiver before he got there, maybe, but he wasn't one while he was there. Okay. I'm saying they didn't draft one either. They didn't trade for one. They didn't sign one. It's as simple as that. They just haven't had one. Okay. So that's that. So getting back to the Oakland A's, through the night, packed their bags up and left Oakland and going to Las Vegas. I'm a little pissed off about this, Mo. I'm gonna say this to you. This is supposed to be the city. This is supposed to be the team of the city of Oakland. The Raiders left and the Warriors left because the city of Oakland said, this is a city for baseball. We are Oakland A's. We're a baseball city. We're a baseball city. That's what they said to Golden State. That's what they said to the Raiders, because the Raiders really wanted to stay. They didn't want to go to Vegas. They want to stay right there in Oakland. You know what I'm saying? The faithful fans want to stay there. Now the fans got to fly for 4 hours, and it's an 8-hour drive to go to Las Vegas and watch them play. And then they go out there, spend the whole weekend and lose the money. Then they can't get back home to go to work. Then they got to figure out how they're going to get back home, because they don't have, because they drove out there. They think about the gas. They did buy the plane ticket though. They did buy a round trip plane ticket, but you got a lot of when you go to Vegas, you see a lot of black and gold out there just sitting around trying to figure out how they're gonna get back home, out to Oakland, because that's what they do. When you go to Sin City, man, it ain't no joke out there.
Don't talk about the black and gold. We the black and gold. They the black and silver.
They the black and silver.
Because they second. Because gold is always better than silver.
What did I say? Black and gold?
You said black and gold.
You said black and gold.
Oh, I'm sorry, black and gray. Or black and silver.
Black and silver. They black and silver. They always be second.
You see, my high school colors are black and gray, black and silver too. So I kind of tend to like them a little bit. And if you look, I'm black and gray. You know what I'm saying? I'm hanging. It's a weird thing, man. It's because I told a friend of mine, I said, you know what? What's funny though? I said, I love black and gray so much. I said, just imagine if I didn't like black and gray as much as I love it. I said, my hair is black and this is gray. I said, it all goes inside, man. It was meant to be this way. It was meant to be this way. So it looked like we got a caller online. Let's see who this is. We waiting on. It ain't Dana. We want to know what Dana is because Dana's supposed to be here with us. I have an unknown caller. Don't know where they're calling from, but let's go bring them in the air. You unknown caller. You're on the air with Kevin and Mo and Just Us Sports Talk Radio. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's your topic or what do you want to talk about?
Okay, well, I'm Robert. I'm question.
Okay.
The Pro Bowler. All right.
Okay.
My guess is the Baltimore Ravens.
The who?
Baltimore Ravens.
The Ravens. Okay. We will let you know at the end of the show, Robert.
All right.
If you was right or wrong.
Thank you. I'm going to fill it up here.
And you got anything else you want to talk about while you got you on the air, Robert?
Yeah, Robert, if you're talking about the Ravens, they must be terrible.
They must be terrible.
It's tired of not hearing about Aaron Rodgers and Vic.
All right, Rob. Appreciate you calling in, brother. We'll let you know at the end of the show. If
you got his number, right? How you gonna contact it back?
Well, no, because I got him on a Facebook page. So
okay, cool.
I'm gonna share it on the Facebook page. So, and ladies and gentlemen, if you win with the first 3 callers that get the answer right, and everybody can call in, but the first 3 that comes in to get the answer right, they move on to the next round trivia question. Which the next round trivia question will probably be it's gonna be a 1-part question, but it's gonna have 5 different answers to it. So it's going to get, as it goes on, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And Mo, I'll tell you about it later on off the air, because I'm telling you right now, the next question I give out is going to be kind of tough. But the one after that one is going to be tougher. That's what I got to say about that.
No Googling allowed.
But anyway,
no Googling allowed, right?
Getting back to the Oakland A's. So again, Mo, David said, okay. He said, okay, you're a baseball city, and we're gonna stay with that baseball city thing. We're gonna move because you don't want us to be here no more. You don't want to help build a stadium or anything like that. And my personal opinion, I don't care one way or another about who builds a stadium, who don't build a stadium. If you love the game of sports and as an owner, you love the city you're in, you want to stay there. But we all know that Oakland, the city said to the Raiders, we're not helping you do nothing. If you want to go to Vegas, go to Vegas. So they leave and go to Vegas. Next thing you know, Golden State Warriors come on the scene, and people, and Mo, this is the thing that gets me, right? Everybody Golden State Warrior fan. Yo, where is Golden State at?
San
California.
San Francisco.
I'm like, where at in California? I really don't know. Wait a minute, how are you gonna be a Golden State Warrior fan and you don't know what city they from? You don't have no clue what city they living in. What city they playing? Nobody, they didn't know. So, I gave them the answer. I said they was in Oakland, California. So they said they seen their handwriting on the wall. I said, Oakland, thank you, but no thanks. We're moving too. So Oakland got what they wanted. They got the baseball team. they got a baseball team in Oakland, and they haven't been doo-doo in a long time.
They should have told the fans.
Long time. They got dedicated fans that love
Not for
the
the
Oakland
A's.
A's.
Not for the A's.
They never show
Love
up.
for the Golden
They
State
never show
Warriors.
up.
Love for the Oakland Raiders. But now the city that said, or the mayor that said, we're a baseball town, has lost the baseball team to Vegas. And this is what Al Davis is mad about, because he said, you told me that this was a baseball town. You didn't need us. You didn't want us on that wall. You didn't need us on the wall. So we jumped off the wall and we left. We moved our city. We moved our team to Las Vegas. But now all of a sudden, the Oakland A's is moving to Vegas too. So now what do Oakland have? Nothing. Now, now, if you don't know about Oakland, California, the problem is that there's not a lot of land there. They have a lot of marsh out in Oakland, right? So it's really hard to build out there in Oakland. But the thing about it is they could have redid the stadium and let the team play somewhere else for a year. You know what I'm saying? But now you've trashed the team. And I'm gonna say this to the owner of the Oakland A's. I ain't mad at you, but are you gonna bring a winner to Vegas? Because that's all that's out there is winners right now. You know, we already know WNBA is out there, they're doing their thing. We know the NBA is on their way out there. They got a hockey, they're gonna have everything in Vegas. I'm gonna say this right now. So when you go out to Vegas, make sure you get a round trip ticket to get back home. Because if you lose your money and you're driving, you ain't gonna think about the gas money. You're just gonna think about the partying out there in Vegas. I'm telling you right now, that's what's gonna happen out there in Vegas. But the thing about it is that Davis is mad because he could have stayed in Oakland and had his football team still in Oakland. But the city says, oh, we're a baseball team. But then you lose the baseball team as well. I mean, I'm trying to really understand this, Mo, but it's not really making any sense to me. Because now Oakland's going to lose out on a lot of money. How they going to survive? I mean, they can survive. You know what I'm saying? Because they were saying that the baseball owner didn't want to open up any of the stands, like to sell paraphernalia or anything. They didn't want to open up nothing because they knew they was leaving. This was last year or last 2 years, because they already had in mind they was gone. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is what happens to a city when you get greedy. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm wrong, please, I'm just giving my opinion how I feel about the situation. But if I'm wrong, please, somebody get on the line and call me up and say, Kev, you're wrong. That's not why they left. Because I want to hear your opinion as well, or your factual or facts or whatever you want to say. Go ahead, Mo.
I think it's simple why they're leaving.
I think it's simple.
They ain't making no money. Fans ain't coming to the games. They have the lowest attendance of any Major League Baseball team. They're not drawing people. They have everything covered at the top. They got this big stadium and they got no fans. And it looks so terrible every time you watch it. It's like watching, who would I say? It's like watching the Cleveland Browns when every year for the last 25. Okay, I'll go stop messing with you. I know that hurt, but it's true. Nah, y'all actually got dedicated fans in Cleveland and for the Browns. But that's what I'm saying. The A's have no dedicated fans. The Raiders had fans every week. No matter if they were good or bad, they always had fans. The A's have nobody. Since they were found cheating with Canseco and also with McGuire, that's why they both left, because they knew it was going to come down to them, and that's what they wanted to do. Then they had Moneyball, and that did well, but it was always about never re-signing their players. So when you keep asking for a stadium, but you don't put any money in the team, why are the people going to support you? And that's what Oakland said. We're not going to support you if you're not going to keep our players. Everybody we like, you just trade away. So that's what Moneyball really happened.
Yeah.
But now, Mo, if you think about the Moneyball thing of it, he did it with one of the lowest incomes of baseball that's ever won a World Series. With the Moneyball, I mean, and that kind of threw that, and that's where I think the analytics kind of came from with the Moneyball with Oakland A's. And you see where the analytics has taken us now as far as baseball, basketball, football, hockey, soccer, croquet, jumping jacks, jumping rope, whatever. Analytics got something to do with it now. You know what I'm saying? But I get your point is that they never really put any money into the team like they should have. But my thing is, what took them so long? If that was the case, what took them so long to leave? Because they should have left a long time ago if that's the case. Now, I don't know. And I don't know if the lease was up, or I mean, I'm pretty sure the lease was up. But the thing about it is how it went about. I mean, if you was in Oakland, if you couldn't see that they was ready to jump ship, something wrong with you. I would love for Oakland A's fan to come on here and just talk to us and explain to us what happened to that team out there in Oakland that's now going to Vegas. I wonder if they're gonna change their colors. You think they should change the colors, Mo?
Nah.
I think they should change them. I think they should go to. I think they should go from the gold. I think they should go from the gold they got to the glitter gold and the green. Like the color that the hockey team got. Use that gold for their uniforms. What's your thoughts on that, Mo?
No, I think they changed from the elephant. To the donkey. Because they looking like donkeys right now. And you can take that for politics all you want to. I'm just saying they look like Jack A's. How about that? They should be the Jack A's. The Las Vegas Jack A's. That works for me.
Yo, and you know what though? The question is, where did elephant come from? I mean, you know, Oakland A's with the. We got to do some homework. Let me write this down. Let me write this down on my notes.
Do you remember that in the old logo? Right?
Yeah,
the elephant on top of the ball.
Yep.
And didn't Moneyball get up to the World Series, but didn't win the World Series because the last one was in
I think they won. I think they won the World Series.
Moneyball was like, if it was 9, I give it to him. I don't remember being 89. It was in the 1990s and 2000s.
I think they did win the World Series. Let me check and see.
I ain't never seen Moneyball. I could be the worst person in the world right now on this because I don't pay attention to it. You know why? They the Oakland A's.
But you know what though? The thing about it is, who was the team that played and they had the earthquake? Was that
that was them?
San Francisco?
That was
in Oakland.
It was in Oakland. Yeah. That was in 89. Or was that 87?
Let's see here. 80.
Series. What was that?
Looking at the 80s. 80.
World Series earthquake, 1989.
1989. They swept the San Francisco Giants 4-0. Tommy La Russa was the manager at the time for them.
For the A's.
Yes, indeed. Who we got on the line?
Seiko Maguire on there.
So we got Dana on the line right now.
That's what I'm saying. That was before Moneyball, though, wasn't it?
No, I think that that might have been right around the time Moneyball was made. Let's see here.
Yeah, they started Moneyball in 2002.
2000. It says 2000.
2002 is when they started.
They haven't won a World Series. They might have made the movie. Well, I think the movie was behind.
The movie was 2011.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the Moneyball era started in 2002. They haven't won a World Series since then.
Yeah, but I think though, didn't the last time they won the World Series, wasn't that part of the reason why they did Moneyball?
No, they did Moneyball because they kept losing. So they tried to change the analytics. And actually, that's what they did. So they became good again. But as soon as they got good, they would trade away all the best players. They would try to get younger players with better on-base percentage.
Right. Okay, got you on that one. So ladies and gentlemen, next up we're gonna do we got Dana on the line. Dana, do you got your Afro American moment
I had Phoenix Shakur.
Go ahead. You up first. We're gonna allow you to be first today because we
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, Dana. Dana. Hello? Dana.
Hello, you can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Ben can hear you.
Okay. My phone is terrible.
We're gonna start
That
calling you
T-Mobile.
Black Tony.
Hey, wait a minute, Dana, wait a minute. Mo got something to say.
Dana, we're gonna start calling you Black Tony. If you
Tony.
listen to what's his name? Ricky Smiley. The Ricky Smiley
I
show.
know Ricky Smiley show.
Yeah, we're gonna start calling you Black Tony.
I'm not making it
BT. BT. That's your new nickname.
I'll be on the road half of the day.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
I'm just messing with you, bro. When I started over the weekend.
But Dana, let me say something to you.
I just didn't finish.
Dana, let me say something to you. What did I tell you I used to do when I did my show? After my show was over it on Monday, I'm preparing for my show on. I start preparing.
I got to start.
See, that's what I start preparing. If anybody don't know this, when my show's over with on Mondays, I'm already preparing for my show. When my show's over at 9 o'clock, between 10 and 11, I'm thinking about what's gonna be on my show next coming up, as far as something that's outrageous, something crazy, whatever. And then I add on to whatever I do from that point on. So then that's what you gotta start doing, man. After Tuesday, you gotta sit down and say, okay, this is what I'm gonna talk about. This is what I got. This is what I got. Because you know what your sister said. I ain't gonna say what I ain't gonna tell you. I ain't gonna say what your sister said. But
stop calling my brother out. Stop calling my brother out.
A large and a blue shirt.
Oh, so Dana, she's a large blue shirt.
Yes.
Okay. Does she want a V-neck or a round neck?
Around.
Okay. And am I mailing it to you?
Yeah, mail it to me. I give it to her.
Okay. All right, Dana. So go ahead with your Black History moment.
Well, I didn't finish it.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. Mo, go ahead and knock us out with the person you got.
All right, so of course we got the draft coming up. So I wanted to talk about the most impactful guy in the Steelers draft there ever was. Bill Nunn.
Wait, Mo, wait 1 second. Go ahead, Danny. What you say?
We could do anybody, right?
Yes, we can do anybody.
Okay.
All right.
But I did start my Phoenix Shakur.
You did who?
Shafina Shakur.
Phoenix Shakur, Tupac's mother.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Mo.
All right. So as I was rudely interrupted, I'm gonna talk about my Steelers because we on the draft. So I got my Mean Joe Green shirt. Yep, it goes back that long because my aunt used to wear this. My aunt was not a big woman, so it's kind of tight on her brother. But it's okay. It looked good. It looked good. I ain't gotta have no shoulder pads on. It feels like it would be wearing shoulder pads. That's how tight this thing is. So I'm not gonna try and breathe too hard. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Bill Nunn. My boy Bill Nunn was probably the one most influential black man that's ever been in the Steelers. Reason being is he was a scout, but I'm going to read this to you because I just love reading this because he's a great guy. And he also is in almost the same thing that I wanted to be because I always thought about being a sports writer. So Bill Nunn was inducted into the Steelers Hall of Honor as a member of the class of 2018. Now, he died in 2014. So that's why I get mad with people. Why you always going to induct somebody when they're dead? Induct them while they're still alive. Give them their flowers while they're still alive. Kev, I love you. Thank you for bringing me on the show. Dana, you're about to be replaced. All right, let me get back to Bill Nunn. I'm just messing. Before accepting Dan Rooney's job offer in 1968, Bill Nunn was the newspaper guy. He was first a sports writer. I'm glad you're on mute so I can't hear you if Dana talking trash. Then the sports editor, then the managing editor of the Pittsburgh Courier during an era when it was one of the most influential black publications in America. Starting in 1950, Nunn personally selected the annual Black College All-American football team for the Pittsburgh Courier. And in the course of performing that duty, he developed relationships with players and coaches at those colleges that would serve him well during his career in the NFL. Before the rest of the league caught on to the wealth of talent available in the programs at the historically black colleges, HBCUs, Nunn helped the Steelers add many players who would go on to fill integral roles in the 4 Super Bowl championships of the 1970s. Some of those players included L.C. Greenwood from Arkansas A&M, Mel Blount from Southern, Frank Lewis from Grambling State, Dwight White from Texas A&M, Ernie Holmes from Texas Southern, Joe Gillum, who should have been a starting quarterback, but he couldn't stay off the drugs, from Tennessee State, John Stallworth from Alabama A&M, Donnie Shell from South Carolina State. For his decade of service, Nunn was enshrined as a member of the inaugural class of the Black College Hall of Fame. Now, he was also inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame, but he wasn't inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame until last year. And that makes me so mad because he was one of the people that architected the 1974 draft, where we selected in the first round Lynn Swann, Hall of Famer. Second round, Jack Lambert, Hall of Famer. Third round, John Stallworth, Hall of Famer. We're going to skip Jimmy Allen because I don't know that dude, so he must not have been anybody. Mike Webster, fifth round, Hall of Famer. And we picked up Donnie Shell as an undrafted free agent because he knew him and knew his coach from South Carolina State. We got 5 Hall of Famers in one draft because of Bill Nunn. And I'm not saying that we're going to give him credit for Jack Lambert or for Mike Webster, but he definitely gets credit for saying, let's take Lynn Swann because I got a wide receiver that's just as good as him that we're going to take later, which was John Stallworth. So the thing about it is he's the reason that we got 4 Super Bowl championships in the 70s. He's the reason that we have the most Super Bowls right now of anybody in the NFL. Yeah, I said that to the Browns fan and to the Dolphins fan. Well, we tied with the Patriots, but we know they cheated. So we ain't gonna count them. All the gates that they got. Shoot. So, but this is Bill Nunn. He's one of the most influential guys that has ever been for the Steelers because he actually helped HBCU players actually make it to the league as well.
I like that. And thing about it is, if you think about HBCUs right now, they're still having struggle. They're struggling to get them in the NFL. This has been a year where no HBCU player was drafted in the NFL, which is crazy. That's insane. You're gonna sit and tell me that there could never be. There's not one player from an HBCU that could have been drafted. Was year before last, I think, in the NFL. So, Mr. Nunn, thank you for your contributions to the NFL, for doing your due diligence to bringing in these young men from HBCUs. Even though they were Steelers fans, I respect you. I still hate the Steelers. I respect you though, as what you did for just us guys. You know what I'm saying? Because without you, there might not have been a Stallworth or Donnie Shell or whoever else he drafted from the HBCU.
Mel Blount.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get back to that drafting these kids from the HBCUs because they're just as good as anybody else out there. They got to be seen, they got to be heard, and things of that nature. So next up is mine. Her name is called Zipporah Potter Atkins. Check this out. And I just pulled this up not too long ago, and it's just weird how things just fall in my lap like this. And it kind of relates to a lot of stuff. So, Zipporah Potter Atkins, born July 4th, 1645 to January 8th, 1705, was the first African-American woman who owned her own colony in Boston during a time when few women of African-American owned land in American colonies. The purchase of the home dated 1960 makes her the first African-American to own land in the city of Boston, and with Anthony Johnson, one of her earliest African landowners in what would become the United States. Zipporah Potter was born to Richard Grace. Excuse me, wait 1 second. Okay. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Okay. All right, let me go back here. Okay. What was that? She was born to Richard and Grace, slaves of Captain Robert Keeney in Massachusetts Bay Colony in the mid-1600s. Children born to slaves in Boston at that time were considered free upon birth, explaining Zipporah's status as a free African-American in the colony of Boston. Taking the surname of Atkins, Upon marriage, Zipporah is reported to have 6 surnames. Wait 1 second. Somebody is okay. Look at this. Okay. Reported had 6 surnames in total. Her marriage was reportedly official by the prominent pertinent ministry Cotton Mather. After the death, Atkins was laid to rest in Cobbs Hill burial ground as an unknown location. According to history records, Zipporah Porter Atkins was able to purchase a property through inheritance she received from her father. Her property was situated in the edge of Boston North End, near the mill pond, with flowers into Boston Harbor. She owned her own property while a single woman managed and maintained control of her land through the course of her marriage. As she owned her property between the years of 1970 and 1670 to 1699. Atkins was the first recorded African American to own land in Boston. She also learned to read well enough to at least sign her initials. During a time when many people could not read, she signed the deed to sell her home in 1699. She became the first African American woman to initially deed in Suffolk County, Massachusetts. Legacy: Dr. Vina Johnson retired as a professional educator of Boston University, discovered the documentation of Zipporah property records around 2009. Following the year of research, part of Dr. Johnson's then governing Deval Patrick unveiled a memorial of Zipporah Potter Atkins on the Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy Gate Greenway. Dr. Johnson held a talk titled "Free Black Females: Zipporah Potter Atkins' Story of Hometown in Colonial Boston" at the Museum of African American History in Boston, 2014. So, guys, when they say to me that Boston is prejudiced, the city is prejudiced, it just goes to show you again that it ain't the city, it's the people. You know, and she was born in Boston and owned her own property, which is outstanding, which is out freaking standing, guys. So let's move on to the next topic real quick. We got Mo, we got look like we got Mo, we got Dana, and we got Mr. Davidson on the line. Mr. Davidson, thank you for joining in with us. I believe that's you, 202 area code. So
You're welcome.
real quick, guys, real quick. Major League standings right now. Give Mr. Davis, give me your most disappointing team in the AL and the most disappointing team in the NL. Who do you have?
Well, let me start at the beginning. I'll go with the Nationals, you know, and I'm gonna have to go with the Orioles to second place in the AL. So they've been on a winning streak. So I'm surprised because of the players on a Baltimore roster that they doing really good.
No, I was asking you for the most disappointing team in both American League and National League. Not the most.
Okay.
So who's your most?
Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to go to the Yankees. You know.
Okay.
I'm gonna put all that money in golf claw, but I'm gonna have to go with the Florida Marlins.
Okay. Okay. And who do you have for the most surprising team in the AL and in the NL?
Hold on, I ain't get to that yet.
Okay.
We can go to the next question while I look it up.
All right, Dana, what you got for us? And most disappointing team AL and NL, and most surprising team AL NL. Who you got?
I have is it the Houston Astros?
Okay.
Or the Red Sox? Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about
in the NL? I think in the NL, I think it's the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay. Okay. And what about the most surprising team you have AL NL?
The most surprising team is right here in the home of AL. Tampa Bay Rays,
Okay.
and I think the NL New York Mets.
Okay. Okay. For me, hey, Mr. Davidson, do you got your answers?
No, they ain't giving me
Okay. All right.
standings yet.
So let me give you mines. Okay. For the most disappointing team in the AL, I have Seattle Mariners because they're playing great ball at the end of the season. I thought they would be better going forward right now than they are. Now I'm not saying that it's not going to end that way, but I thought that they was on. They made the playoff last year. I think didn't they make the wild card? I think they played the Yankees, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They played the wild card
Okay.
last year.
Yeah, so I'm a little disappointed on the way they're starting off right now. St. Louis Cardinals, I'm disappointed in them right now. They're not playing really good baseball right now. They're really inconsistent on their end of the bats, in the pitching. My most surprising team has to be Tampa Bay Rays. And now I gotta say the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're really playing great baseball right now. The manager got extension. They brought back what's his name?
Andrew McCutcheon.
Andrew McCutcheon. I love his game. I was hoping that he would have came to the Dodgers, but I think his heart was back to Pittsburgh. I know there was talk for him going to the Dodgers, but I don't know if the money was going to be right for him. So they got the veteran in him. He knows what it feels like to lose all the time, and for them to be where they're at right now is a great feeling for them to be now. Can they be consistent about it? We don't know. We would love for them to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? I would love for the Pittsburgh Pirates to play deep into October so the Steelers don't have all the fans coming there when they booing the Browns. They'd be going to the baseball game instead of going to the football game. You know what I'm saying? That'd be lovely. So those are my team. They're my 4 teams. Mo, what you got?
Thank you for making me go last. I appreciate that and taking my teams. Anywho, um, my teams are most surprising in the AL. Well, worst was it going to be the Mariners, but I guess I got to choose another team now since you took them, because they gave us a real good run. I will say in the AL, I will think about the Angels because this is Shohan's last season. You need to get off to you got to have a good start. So being 11-11 right now, they ain't gonna get it done. You ain't gonna get to the playoffs like that. You need to get off to a good start. For the NL, easy pick on this one. This is definitely the San Francisco Giants. You're 8-13. You was said all the time you're gonna bring in Aaron Judge. What happened? He went back to the Yankees. Who else did you want to bring in? You also wanted to bring in Carlos Correa. What happened to him? You said, nah, after looking at his thing. Mets said, nah, too, though. So I kind of understand. He's back with Minnesota. He ain't doing that well as he was doing last year either. So at least you got out of that contract. But to say you're going to spend all the money and then not spend anything, that's why you're 8-13. Most surprising, of course, it's the Rays, but I got to go with the Rangers. Rangers are 14-7. Nobody expected that from the Rangers. Yes, they brought in DeGrom and they brought in some other big names, which I thought they were just spending money, but it's actually paying off for them. So it's good money. And then in the National League, it has to be them Pirates, but for a different reason. They're doing this without O'Neal Cruz, their young superstar shortstop. So they brought back Clutch, like you said, but they're doing it without probably their best player, their up and coming superstar. And that's what's so surprising about this for me. They got rid of Garrett Cole. They've gotten rid of so many great players and lost so many great players. And now they're balling. It just happens when you bring back in a veteran who learned how to win when he was a Yankee. He also learned when he was winning at other teams as well, but they brought him back, and that just rejuvenated that organization. So I'm happy for the Pirates. Go Pittsburgh.
Go Pittsburgh.
All right, Mr. Davidson, you have your answers?
Yeah, I got now the American League, everybody's doing good. I mean, in the East, but one team that's doing poorly is Colorado because you can hit home runs to the high, but they stick to the, you only want 6 games, and I'm like, come on now, these that they can hit home runs. They only got 6 wins, and I'm like, oh my god, what can I say?
Okay. Okay. Any other answers you got?
That's it.
Okay. Still sticking to some baseball news, guys. Now our friend Sherry Sweeney Smith, who has a nephew that had a heart issue, who got a heart transplant not too long ago, man. I just want to read this article to you. Um Amazing, man. This God is so good, man. That's all I can say is, the surgeons, you know, to 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 put the knowledge out there for people to understand how to do heart surgery. And if you think about this, there was a black surgeon that was the first one to do an open heart surgery. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, man, we be doing our thing. We just don't be getting the credit that we deserve. You know what I'm saying? But since then, they've gotten to the point where they can do heart transplant. They can fly a heart from across the world to another person, give them a heart. And this they just got to be able to react to that new heart and things like that. So he's doing really well right now. But I just want to read this article to you guys. How amazing things are for this young man. Mechanicsburg pitcher Luke Morgan recovered from a heart transplant surgery. Luke Morton of Mechanicsburg High School baseball player received a heart transplant in February. Uh, in February. So let me move down. Mechanicsburg Luke Morgan delivers a pitch against the Boiling Springs scrimmage game. This is they talking about him and his career playing baseball. But Luke's parents Lee and Tiffany Morgan and son Luke Morgan from Mechanicsburg. He was, like I said, received his heart transplant. Also, if you're in the area, JoJo's Pizza and Pasta on 2210 Aspen Drive, Mechanicsburg will host a fundraiser for Luke Morgan, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. April 27th. Luke Morgan, Mechanicsburg High School baseball player, received a heart transplant in February. And basically, they're going to help. They're going to raise some money for this young man. But the thing about it is, though, is the story that's going to be told about this young man and be able. And they said that he can go back and play baseball. And then maybe because he's so young and that his heart he's still developing, his body's still developing, is to gives him an opportunity to be able to play baseball again. Hopefully, man, we can get Luke on the show, and he can tell us his story, man. And just talking to Sherry, how the dad would stay down in Pittsburgh. It just so happened, I think that his job allowed him to work from home, and things of that nature. I mean, it was probably really stressful on the family, to find out what the issue is. And if you really think about this goes back to the movie with Denzel Washington, with his son needing a new heart. If you can imagine a situation like that, but what Luke was, he woke up in the middle of the night or something. He felt like he couldn't breathe, and that's when they found there was some issues with his heart. You know what I'm saying? But this is back in the fall, if I'm not mistaken. And now we're looking at springtime, and everything he did. He was ahead of the game. Even when he's in ICU, they said he'd be in it for like maybe a week. He was only in it for 3 days. Then they moved into somewhere else, and they said, well, he'll be here for another 3 weeks. He was only there for a week. You know what I'm saying? Then they said, well, you can go home in about a week and a half, whatever. And he came home in like for less than 4 days. You know what I'm saying? So he's a story. He's a story within itself, man. And if this kid gets an opportunity to play baseball again, can you imagine, man? I mean, to have him on my team and to see this kid go out and throw a baseball or play baseball or hit the ball is amazing, man. That would have to motivate me as a teammate. I'm like, look, man, look, what the hell do we got to lose? Let's go out and try to win the World Series in baseball in high school. Let's do it, because Mechanicsburg has a very good team. Also, I don't know if there's AAA. I mean, I don't know if they're 5A or 6A, but they've always had a good baseball team. So hopefully they get an opportunity to advance far. And again, we're keeping Luke in our prayers. Sherry, thank you for the article. Anybody that lives in the area, make sure you guys go over to the pizza place. In it's in Mechanicsburg. JoJo's Pizza and Pasta on 2210 Aspen Drive. They're hosting a fundraiser for him on the 27th of this month. So I'm gonna try to make it over there, so I can actually see Luke and maybe get a picture with Luke and whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Just shake hands with the young man. So let's move on from there. Are you guys ready to give us your did anybody do did y'all do your greatest? Do you want to do the greatest, or do you want to do the NFL completion, all that stuff? Did anybody what do y'all want to do at this point?
I want to talk about Tank.
I want to talk about Tank.
Ryan.
Wait a minute.
Okay, you know the NFL is doing a draft party, a commander draft party at Village Field, and I wasn't invited to go, but I can take anybody with me, right? So it's for free refreshments and stuff, right? And as me being a disabled person, right, they're gonna put me in the Joe Gear section. So if anybody want to go, meet me at section F in the parking lot.
Okay, that's what's
You
up.
know, this will be my first one ever. You know.
That's what's up. So where we at? We at 51 minutes. So Mo want to talk about the fight. Again, I ain't paid for pay-per-view fights since Mike Tyson bit my man's ear off. And then I was gonna pay for the fight with De La Hoya. I mean, not De La Hoya, but what's his name? Money Mayweather. I was gonna pay for that fight, and then they said, well, it's being delayed a half an hour because they need to make sure they get their gate money. I was done with pay-per-view at that point in time. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I just can't. I'm not giving them my hard-earned cash because now you make me think that boxing is fixed. You know what I'm saying? And then listening to Max Kellerman on how they had to have water weight and all this other stuff. You had to wear a certain weight for a certain time period. All these other things that went involved in this fight. I don't get it. I'm just like, look, if I weigh 150, you want 150, let's fight. Put the boxing gloves on, let's fight. That's the bottom line. Lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight, whatever. I don't know. I just don't get it.
You hate boxing like I hate.
You hate boxing like I hate.
I don't hate boxing. I just hate the direction it's going in. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is a sport that should not be an entertainment. It can't be entertainment because it's a game. It's a sport. Sports can't be entertainment because when they become entertainment, then you have a way of predicting who wins, who loses. How many times have you went to the movies? At the end of the movies, Johnny gets the girl, the picket fence, and he gets a $100,000 car, and he gets the best job.
What's the best moment of Friday?
What's the best moment of Friday?
In the movie Friday, what's the best moment?
What's the best moment?
But that's a movie. But you know what though?
You talking about a movie? I brought up another movie. What's the best moment?
But that's entertainment. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
Is it entertainment?
He got knocked.
All right.
He got knocked out.
Did we know it's coming? Yes, we did.
Yes,
we did.
I knew it was coming from King Ryan too. He talked too much trash. Tank hit him with that body blow. And he was like, "Oh, I can't do it no more. I can't do it no more."
Yo, yo, I've never seen a reaction to a action to a reaction that took that long for it to happen. Just imagine you get hit in your kidneys like that, and then your body just your body's like, yo, sit down.
Lever punch.
Sit down. He sat down. He couldn't get he couldn't get back up.
I've fallen.
But if I was him, I'm still getting up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do something. I mean,
you couldn't.
I've
had a liver punch before.
But let me ask you a question though. I think he could have got up because when he got to 10, he stood straight up. When he said 10, he got straight up then. You know what I'm saying? So I think he could have. He just didn't want to. He's like, yo, I'm not getting that.
He won't take that like that again.
He won't take that pain.
He's like, I got my money.
I got money. I'm good.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That's all I want to talk about.
That's all I
Was all
want to
them
talk
King
about.
Ryan
With
fans
all
out
them
there
King
need
Ryan
to
fans out
sit
there,
down.
need to sit down.
I still
All
go
right,
back and
so
forth between Shakur and Tank. Which one I like the
between
most?
Shakur and Tank. Which one I like the most?
all right, so we're going all over the place today, right? We're not going in no certain pattern. All right, so I want you guys to listen to this right here, and I want to get all y'all guys' take on this situation right here, because I'm a little perturbed at the comment on this right here that I'm hearing. So
Do you still watch a lot of basketball, or no? I don't. Tell me about that. When and did you stop immediately from the time you stopped coaching?
No, I didn't. I watched
I'm sorry.
the game evolve and decided, and they went into the lockout year and they did something that was kind of wanky. They did a bubble down in Orlando, and all the teams that could qualify went down there and stayed down there.
No audience.
And they had things on their back like, Justice, and I made a little funny thing like, Justice just went to the basket and Equal Opportunity just knocked him down. And somebody, I had another name for a guy who has jersey in the back of a jersey, had some other slogan. So my grandkids thought that was pretty funny to play up those names. So I couldn't watch that. The Lakers won, actually. They won that year. And
do you feel like it just made little of the game, like it made it like a sideshow? What do you think it was that turned you off?
Well, it was they even had slogans on the floor, on the baseline. It was catering. It was trying to cater to an audience or trying to bring a certain audience into play. And they didn't know it was turning other people off, People want to see sports as non-political. We've had a lot of different type of players that have gone on to be like, Bill Bradley was a senator, number of baseball players been representatives and senators and political, but their politics stay out of the game.
Yeah, it's separate.
It doesn't need to be there.
All right, guys. So if y'all know who that was Phil Jackson. And Phil Jackson said the reason why he stopped watching basketball is because of in the bubble. And if we remember what happened in the bubble that's when George Floyd got killed. Okay. And that's when they was debating if they wanted to play, if they wasn't going to play. And so the players from the NBA went to the commissioner and said, look, we need to promote Black awareness right now. We need to promote that because we stand behind the people that are predominantly getting killed for just being Black. Okay. So do you think Phil Jackson is a little prejudiced, or do you think that he just said something without thinking about what he's about to say? Because in my personal opinion, he's like, oh, they had something on the floor. They had a slogan on the floor, and it wasn't a slogan. It was Black Lives Matter, right? Because we just saw a police officer put his knee on a guy's neck for 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes and 6 seconds or something of that nature, and kill him. But you're mad because, or you don't want to watch basketball because of that. Come on now, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't really care about Phil Jackson at this point in time, because my thing is, if that was his son or his grandson that was getting that kind of treatment, it'd be a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? I really don't get what he said, and to me, it doesn't hurt his legacy. I've never been a Phil Jackson fan myself because he's always had a ready-made basketball team to coach. Okay. That's why I don't care what nobody say, he would never be better than Red Auerbach. Red Auerbach was the coach, the manager, the GM, the water boy. He taped them guys up. He did everything. Phil Jackson had 20 different coaches. You know what I'm saying? He did teach the Texas Triangle, but again, I don't even care about that. But his comment said something, and then next week, hopefully, I can bring on. I'm gonna bring on what what's the name? Comment on play with the Pacers. He played with the Pacers.
Reggie Miller.
Help me out here.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller.
No, not Reggie Miller. The other guy. Doggone it.
Oh, exactly.
No, the one he was married to what's the name? He's married to the chick on First Take.
Oh, you're talking about Jalen Rose.
Oh,
you're talking about Jalen Rose. They're not married anymore.
Rose had a comment.
They're not married anymore, though.
No, Jalen Rose had a comment to that, and we'll talk about. Hopefully, I can remember to bring that back on next week. So I think we got Lou on the line as well. Lou, thanks for calling in. I was hoping that we get more people call in for the trivia question. I guess people don't like money and don't like free gear. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. We only had one person call in with the answer to the trivia question. All they had to do was dial the number. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they had to do was just dial the number, and you can win some trivia. Real quick, guys, I don't know if you know this, but Ime Udoka just got hired as a Rockets coach. I'm a little afraid
right now.
I'm a little afraid of that right now. I'm a little afraid. I'm a little upset.
Why?
Because Jaylen Brown. I'm not too thrilled. I'm not too thrilled with that. I'm not too thrilled. But anyway, Lou, let me ask you a question. You heard what he said. What is your what if you could talk to Phil Jackson right now, what would you say to Phil Jackson?
I think that the whole thing out of context. You're giving a bad because of that. I think it's a lot more than that. I mean, what happened was a terrible tragedy for us. That's no reason. I don't think he meant to say what he said. I think it's just an odd proportion of man in the industry they are. Anybody bad because of that? Nah. No, I don't think it was right.
Right.
I just think it was way below proportion.
Mr. Davidson, what's your thoughts on that on Phil Jackson's comment?
Okay, you had a legacy of winning, and you could flush that in the toilet for one comment, one stupid, idiotic comment.
Okay. Dana, thoughts?
I just think when it doesn't happen to you, you're not concerned. When it doesn't happen to you or people around you, you're not concerned. I get it, like you said, but it was a big eye opener for the. I mean, they had to go to court. But we watched that live, like it was a pay-per-view event.
Okay.
So for him to be like that, I think he's selfish and unaware of what's going on. I think he got probably like slight dementia. He don't understand what he was dealing with when he was in the NBA. So was you faking all the time like you look or what's going on with you?
And you know what, Dana? What's weird is because I remember when if I don't know if you can find an article, but when Boston played them in the playoffs and Leon Pope went off on in the game, he scored 20 points. He said he made a comment about who was this black playing. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't say it around the team, but he said it around some fans. I wish I could find an article that he made that comment because I think Kobe had questioned him about what he said, and he told Kobe it got taken out of context. But it's probably after he had a couple beers or beers or some alcoholism. But you know what they say: drunk people and babies tell no lies. Mo, what's your thoughts?
He was high. I mean, we all know he gets high. We have seen him on his rampages talking about. I think him and Bill Walton probably hang out together because Because Bill Walton is the other white guy that I know that gets high. Because everybody know Bill Walton is high. Bill Walton is high on air sometimes when he's on TV. It's just crazy. They okay with it. He walks around in his Grateful Dead stuff just like Phil Jackson does. He talks about, oh, back in the days when I would smoke weed. Oh, I was talking about yesterday. Ha 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 ha. I'm sorry, man. I think he was high. I really do, and I think at that time period, but you playing it and then reading it are two different things, because this is what he said. If you didn't catch it when they said it, I thought it was I heard it, but I had to hear it. I had to see it written. He said they have things on the back when he's talking about the back of the jerseys like justice. And a funny thing happened, like justice just went to the basket, equal opportunity knocked him down. Some of my grandkids thought it was pretty funny to play those names. I couldn't watch that. He used to be a big guy into politics. Now he says it's too political because they're trying to bring in a different audience. I get what the NBA was trying to do was actually stand up for it, but they did alienate some of the fans. And Phil Jackson used to be a Democrat. He probably ain't a Democrat anymore. Republicans ain't watching that mess. That's what they were against. There were two lines that were drawn at that time period, and it wasn't just political. It was also racial in some cases. So, and people who didn't want to get into it stayed on the outside and just like, that ain't me. That ain't gonna happen to my son because he ain't black. Why should I worry about it? Why should I want things to change where it's either my kid that could be in that situation, or we have less cops and then more people can steal stuff from me? People think about the world the way they see it. They don't care about how other people see it until you're in that situation. And that goes back to what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago with another mass shooting. It's not going to matter to somebody until it happens to your child or it happens to someone that you know. That's all this is.
And you know, I was just in the barbershop earlier today, and there was another shooting in Oklahoma. I think in Oklahoma somewhere. There's another shooting that happened today in Oklahoma. I don't know exactly where it was, but I know there was a shooting there. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I don't know why the show is not on the live feed. I mean, on Facebook, I have no idea what's going on with Facebook. I'm gonna have to talk to them about it because I did post it in there, and it's supposed to be seen on there, but I don't know what's going on with this situation of it not being seen. I'm a little disappointed because that's what we're supposed to do when that's why we do Fridays. We do a show Fridays to watch the shows live on Facebook. If you click on the link that shows the show, you can see it, but it's not on the page, which I don't understand why it's not on the page. But anyway, again, I'm a little I'm a little disappointed in him because he was a hippie. He was one of them guys walked around in the dye shirts, color pants, the halter top, all that stuff. He was one of them guys who run around smoking the weed, doing Korean War, Japanese, whatever war it was going on, Vietnam War. He was one of those dudes. So I could care less if he watched basketball again. I don't care. Again, to me, he's not the greatest coach to ever play the game of basketball because he's always had a loaded team. If Phil Jackson wants to come back and get a team that's not good and coach him up and win a title, then I will say to you, you're better than Red Auerbach. But until then, you're not. And I don't care what nobody said. You can't change my opinion about that because at the same token, Red Auerbach did it without any assistance. His assistant coach was Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, Tommy Heinsohn. That was assistant players. Phil Jackson had 9 different coaches on the team. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Also going forward, NBA is investigating the marriage for sitting key players among playoff hunt. So we stick with this a little bit. The thing that the problem I'm having with this right here is that they're already in trouble with some other stuff in the front office. Why would you bring more light on top of the problem that you're already having? Do I think that Mark Cuban's probably going to end up selling his team? I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you, because they got some issues in the front office as well when it comes to harassing and people and saying negative comments to people of color and things of that nature. I don't know, but this doesn't help the matter at all. So I'm pretty sure that this situation is not done yet. We're going to hear more about this as time goes on, and I feel that they probably will get a fine for this because they did do that. They knew they wasn't making the playoffs, So now all of a sudden they want to set players on their team with his playing teams that were trying to get into the playoffs, which hurt. That's not fair to the other teams that's trying to get in. When if every team that was trying to get in played them, that's a whole different story. But the schedule wasn't built that way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going on with that one. I don't know what's going on with that one. Moving on to some more basketball. Lou, can you tell me what is an NBA ejection? We saw what Embiid did. We saw what Draymond Green did. We saw what James Harden did. We saw what my man Brooks did last night. Can you define in your best words what an NBA ejection should be like?
Well, I mean, there's a player serious after coming in direct contact, and that calls for an MAG ejection, where a player can be just a warning. I mean, what happened is that I think that it was legit.
Okay.
So it's going to be, you know, if he's best. I didn't see it live, but I saw it wonderful. Ugly. I deserve injections.
So let me.
It's only one game, but I can be very confident.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that James Harden should have been ejected? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you think Dylan Brooks should have been ejected? Yes or no?
I do.
Do you think that Embiid should have been ejected? Yes or no?
Embiid, yes. I mean, they're both involved. They're both, you know, intermediate. So yes, I do think that they deserve to be ejected.
Okay.
Ejection.
All right, Mr. Davidson, what's your thoughts on the NBA ejection? Do you think that all three players warned? I'm sorry. And Lou, do you think Draymond Green should have got ejected?
I think Draymond Green should be kicked out of the league. I mean, this guy is a troublemaker.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to playoff time. I mean, this guy is the #1 troublemaker. I mean, he's there something reincarnated for crying out loud.
Okay. Mr. Davidson, Draymond Green, Brooks, Harding, and Embiid. Do you think all four of them guys should have been ejected out of the game for what they did? Oh, wait 1 second. I'm sorry. I think I might have put you on mute by accident. So, okay, Mr. Davidson, the question again was,
Okay.
do you think that Draymond
Green? I think Green should be ejected for a year because you stuck on somebody's chest. That's his heart, his kidneys, his livers. So you try to put this man into a hospital. The rest of them, they just laughed or hit or something. But what Draymond Green did was a criminal act, and he should be ejected for the year.
Okay. What about everybody else? What about Embiid, James Harden, Dylan Brooks? Do you think they should have been ejected?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a game.
Okay. Dana, what's your thoughts on those four gentlemen? What's your thoughts on them?
Embiid and Dylan should have been only two ejected. They did it. He did.
So
Harden made a move when it hit. Then it touched that and it being kicked up at it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I just think both should have been listen. You have my leg. Okay. So I'm gonna do whatever for you to try to lose my leg.
Okay. I okay. So I get all you guys I get what y'all going with this. So let me just read to y'all what it says, because some people don't really understand what it is. I don't understand what it is, because I'm gonna say this right now. I understand But again, this is where the NBA pisses me off because Embiid kicked the dude in his groin, gets to stay in the game.
Yeah.
James Harden does that move all the time. Okay, but he doesn't do it to the point where he's hitting the guy in his groin. He's probably pushing off on the chest or the stomach. Just so happens that the way he was standing, that he hit him in his jewels. I think the one with LeBron James, I think he did more acting than he did anything else with Dylan Brooks. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Dylan Brooks didn't do it, but I think there was a lot of acting going on with that one. But Draymond Green definitely. I understand he held his foot, but Draymond could have not kicked him in his chest. I think Sabonis did do some acting as well, but not enough acting to get Draymond kicked out of the series or 2 games, because I think that action to me should be 2 game suspension, not just 1. Because they're going back to Golden State, and you know that Golden State's down 2-0. They're gonna play the hardest basketball they could ever play because they don't want to go down 3-1 or 3-0. So they're gonna give you your best shot, right? Okay, we got Mo back. They won't give you your best shot. Mo, let me ask you a question. Draymond Green, Embiid, James Harden, and Dylan Brooks. Do you think all of them should have been ejected out of the game? And give me your thoughts on where you feel that it should have.
Well, first of all, I don't think Harden should have been ejected. It was accidental content. I get a flagrant 1. I don't think that should have been a flagrant 2. Embiid should have been thrown out of that game because he kicked up like he was kicking at his man regions. So he should have been kicked out. Should he be suspended next game? Didn't matter. They still won it. But at the same time, he should have been suspended for the next game. Dylan Brooks, it didn't look like it's intentional, but he's been talking trash all series long to LeBron. So I don't think he should be suspended. I don't even know if it came out yet, but at the same time, it is what it is. Draymond Green should have been suspended for 2 games because we've already seen this. Yes, he did grab his foot, but at the same time, you're the one that tried to stomp that man like it was Stone Cold Steve Austin doing the stomp on people. You tried to stomp a mud hole in him. That's what he tried to do, straight up. So that's what I got to say about that. And that's the bottom line because Mo said so.
Okay, so Mo says so. So what warrants the NBA ejection? It's anyone's guess, including the refs. What does it take to get ejected these days in the NBA? No, really, what does it take? Nobody knows anymore. It's not external question for the NBA, but it's a confounding one. After the last 96 hours, no one can say for sure. And the reason why no one can say for sure is because Embiid did not get kicked out of the game. If Embiid got kicked out of the game, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I'll be honest with you. Draymond Green got ejected Monday for stopping on Sabonis. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Usually, only Stone Cold Steve Austin gets paid for stopping on a mud hole, or somebody gets away with it. But then Thursday night, in Brooklyn, Joel Embiid didn't after trying to kick Nick Claxton in the area that best left unkicked. All right, it's possible to make some kind of circular explanation of that, and that's best left best in one current age of hot takery. We've seen more robust devastation for local consistency. But then how do you explain what happened a few quarters later with James Harden? That's a flagrant 2 in the ejection. A nudge, a budge, all to get some separation from Royce O'Neal. That's what got him tossed in Game 3 of the 76ers Nets series. Based on the point of contact directly to the groin, it rose to the level of excess and ejection, referee Tony Brothers said. I'm going to say this about Tony Brothers. I think he's terrible. If I'm telling you right now, if Tony Brothers referees the Celtics game on Tuesday, we might end up losing because he's not a good. If you look at the stats that he referees our games in, he's not good at it. Go ahead, Mo. What you got to say?
No, but you also got to put it
No,
on the
but you also
other
got to
ref.
put it on
That's
the
the one
other
that's
ref.
that's the
The one
extender,
that's the extender.
because he was our referee
Because
in
he was our referee in
the
Is it the
game
one with the ball
4.
head?
the game 4.
No, that's Mark Davis, the
No,
black
Oh,
dude
that's
with the
Mark
bald
Davis,
head.
The
black
dark.
dude
I
with
You
the
can't
talking about
bald
the
stand
dark?
head.
him.
You talking about the
I
dark skin
can't
guy?
stand him.
No, white dude.
Dark skin guy.
No, white dude.
Oh yeah.
He's the extender because every
He's the
time
extender
he's in
because every
a
time
series that's
he's
like
in
3-0,
a series that's like
then
3
the
and
other
0,
team wins.
and the other team wins.
Oh my lord.
We actually
Okay.
beat Brooklyn.
We
He
actually beat
tried everything
Brooklyn.
he could
He
last
tried
year
everything he could last
to
year
extend that series, but we
to
still won
extend
it
that
for him.
series, but we still won it for him.
You see,
Okay.
DeJounte
Based
Murray
You see,
is
DeJounte
suspended,
Murray
right?
is a suspended, right?
Mm-hmm. Based. Where we at? Oh, based on the points of contact directly to the groin, it rose to the level of excessive injection. Referee Tony Brothers said, "I didn't hit him in the private area." Harding protested. Somebody draped on you like that defensively is just a natural basketball reaction. I didn't hit him hard enough for him to fall down like that. For flagrant 2 is unacceptable. That's if a playoff that is a playoff game. You've seen it around the league. Things that are much more worse than what they play. Much more worse what they play was. Honestly, I don't think that was a foul. That's unacceptable. That can't happen. So again, we ask what it takes to be ejected from the NBA playoff game. These days, NBA seriously, nobody knows. No, I have no idea what ejection 2 is. Doc Rivers said it was. I was surprised by James, but listen, but listening, they looked at it. They made the call. You just have to live with it. The officials are trying to get it right too. They are. No one is saying the referees are tanking. The officiating business is hard. It's thankless. At one point, it's one of those jobs spots where the best way to spot someone good at their job is don't spot them at all. So now I'm gonna say this. I've been saying, Dana, how long have I been saying they need to add another referee to the game? I think they need to add 4. They need to have 4. I don't think it'll slow the game up. I don't think it'll slow the game up, but it will be more. Your calls will be more crisper. You're more on time with a lot of stuff that you don't see. Like it's like the situation with the Don, how you first name Deontay how you say it, Mo? DeJounte
Murray.
DeJounte Murray bumped the referee, right? And it's at the end of the game, and now he got sit out the game against the Celtics. Game 5. He's the best offensive weapon that the Atlanta Hawks have. I just don't know, man. I mean, nobody goes to the nobody. Has anybody on this panel asked for a referee's autograph?
No.
Nobody's come to see you. Nobody's come to see you do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Nobody comes to see you do what you do. So that just baffled my brains. Real good. I'm gonna leave that for next week. So let's did everybody do your greatest list?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
I looked at yours.
Okay. So let me. I'm gonna do mine first to get mine out the way. I'm not gonna really go into detail about anything, unless you guys want me to. If you ask me a question about one of my players. So I stole this post off of a post from me and my friends. Well, one friend said to me, he said, "You're not gonna give us your answers." I said, "You already did a post for me." I said, "You was being too fast. You should let me do my own post, and then you would know." I said, "But I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna put it on my show. I'm gonna give credit for the minute of 84. That's where I got it from. So you guys don't get mad at me. I love y'all, but y'all came up with a good idea, and I took it and I'm gonna run with it. That's what just us do." Greatest player of all times, I got Bill Russell. Favorite player of all time, JoJo White. Favorite current player, Jaylen Brown. Favorite current team, I got 17 NBA champion Boston Celtics. Favorite three-point shooter, Tyrese Maxey. I think he is really excellent at shooting the three. Favorite favorite ball handler of all time, I got Magic Johnson. Most underrated of all time, I got Cedric Maxwell. Most overrated of all time, I got Ralph Sampson. Favorite defender of all times, I got Akeem Olajuwon. Favorite coach of all time, I have Mark Jackson because he started the Splash Brothers. Favorite dunk of all time, I gotta go with D Brown, pump up the Reeboks. Favorite team of all time, I gotta go with the '86 Celtics. Best dominant player of all time, I gotta go with Bill Russell. So let me explain to you why I use Bill Russell as the most dominant player. Because when Bill Russell was in college, he could score. When Bill Russell went to Olympics, he could score. When he got to the Celtics, they didn't need him to score. They needed him to play defense. But he could have, even though he might have averaged 14, 15 points a game, I tell you, if they did rebounds, he probably was, before Oscar Robertson, probably was the one that had the most triple doubles in the NBA, for real. Because they didn't keep count on rebounds until later on down the line. But he was grabbing 40 rebounds a game, scoring double digits and probably giving out assists. So that's why I have him as the most dominant player, because I think that if he'd have been on another team and he needed to score, he would probably be right there with Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain as most points scored, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as most points scored, because that's what he had to do. But he understood the team that he played on. He didn't have to do everything. He was more of a team player. He was all about winning championships. So that's why I got him as my dominant player. Dana, you said you got yours?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead with yours.
Okay, greatest player of all time, Magic Johnson. Favorite player of all time, Magic Johnson. Favorite current player of all right now.
Who'd you have?
Jason Tatum.
Okay.
The first two I got Magic Johnson, Kyrie. I had it between Kyrie and Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Favorite current team, the Lakers. Favorite three-point shooter, Steph Curry. Favorite ball handler, Allen Iverson. Most underrated player, Andrew Toney.
You said Andrew Toney.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's good. I like that.
Underrated. Most overrated player, Larry Bird. Favorite defender of all time, Michael Jordan. Favorite coach of all time, Pat Riley.
He just called Larry Bird the most overrated player.
Let me finish. Go ahead, Dana.
Favorite dunker of all time, Vince Carter. I think what was it, the 87, 86 Lakers. Or 85, 86 Lakers. Favorite dominant, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay. All right. Okay, so
what you laughing at Pat Riley for, man?
So do we have any questions about most overrated? Because Dana, I gotta ask you a question. Why? I'm gonna say this to you. If Larry Bird is Larry Bird in your top 10?
No.
Is Larry Bird in your top 15?
No, he's not.
Is he in your top 20?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's fair to say. Okay. I just want to ask that question, but Mo, I think Mo got a question to ask you.
Are you high like Phil Jackson?
What you say?
He said, "Is you high?" Yeah.
No, I don't smoke or drink.
All I'm saying is, Larry Bird is overrated. It's like saying Magic Johnson is the best player ever.
He is.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna say this, Dana. I'm gonna say this, Dana. What I did was I pulled up the top, I think, 50 overrated players. Larry Bird was nowhere in that list at all. But that's cool. Mr. Davidson, did you do your list?
I didn't do my list, but I can answer mine for you.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay, you can read me the answers so I can give you what I mean questions. I can give you answers.
Okay, greatest player of all time.
Bill Russell.
Favorite player of all time.
Bill Russell.
Favorite current player. Favorite current.
Stephon Curry.
Favorite current team.
I'm at my Wizards. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Wizards for life. I'm sorry.
Favorite 3-point shooter.
Stephon Curry.
Favorite basketball handler of all time.
John Stockton.
Okay. Most underrated of all time.
I'm gonna have to say Bobby Sanders.
That's a good one. I like that. Okay. Most overrated of all time.
I'm gonna have to go Steve Francis.
Okay. Favorite defender of all time.
I'm gonna have to say Moses Malone.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Favorite coach of all time.
It's gonna have to be Pat Riley.
Favorite dunk of all time.
I'm gonna have to say Chocolate Thunder.
Okay.
You know who he is.
Daryl Dawkins. Okay. Rest in peace, my boy.
Daryl Dawkins.
Rest in peace. Favorite team of all time. Favorite team.
1978 Washington Bullets.
Bullets. Okay. Favorite dominant player of all time.
Dominant player. I have to say Magic Johnson.
Okay. All right, Mo. What you got for us?
I'm sorry, I'm still hating on Dana. Okay.
We'll get the data later. We'll get the data later.
Still breathing. I'm still trying to breathe through it. Still trying to breathe through it. All right. Greatest player of all time, Michael Jordan. Favorite player of all time, Larry Bird. Most overrated player ever, Magic. Okay, I'm joking. I'm joking. All right. Favorite current player. It's a tie between Marcus Smart and Robert Williams. I love Tom Lord. But Marcus Smart has always been my favorite player. Since he called the dude out that called him an N in college, that's my dog. All right.
Okay.
Favorite current team is the Lakers. To hate. Celtics, of course. Favorite 3-point shooter? Larry Bird. Because he would tell you he about to shoot and then plop it right in your eye. Most overrated of all time, Karl Malone.
Wow.
You take Stockton off those teams. He's a nobody.
We're gonna talk about Karl Malone. Go ahead.
Favorite defender of all time. Give me Dennis Rodman. Any team.
Okay.
Any team. Favorite coach of all time. It's Pop. Favorite dunker of all time, Vince Carter. Favorite team, 86 Celtics. You add Len Bias to that. It went 2 more in a row. Most dominant of all time, Bill Russell.
Okay. Lou, do you got a list?
I have a list. So let's start with.
You want me to call it?
Favorite,
you want me to call it out for you?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Greatest player of all time.
Well, I would have to, even though I'm not a fan, I have to go with Jordan.
Okay. Favorite player of all time.
Favorite player of all time. I'm going to go with actually Kareem. Football.
Okay. Favorite current player.
Julius Randle of my Knicks.
Okay. Favorite current team?
Still my Knicks.
Okay. Favorite 3-point shooter?
Stockton.
Favorite ball handler of all time?
Ball handler. I don't have.
Say that again.
I don't have a ball handler.
Okay. Most underrated of all time?
That's an easy one. Ben Simmons.
No, that's no underrated. You said I said underrated, not overrated. Underrated.
Oh, sorry.
Most
underrated. Well, overrated is Simmons. Underrated. That's a tough one. Underrated. Simmons underrated.
Okay, so let's go with overrated. You said Ben Simmons. I didn't even think about. I didn't even think about Ben. I should have put Ben in there. Favorite defender of all time.
I think it was what Mo said.
Mo, who did you have defender of all time? You have
Dennis Rodman, baby.
Dennis Rodman, baby. Favorite coach of all time.
I have Riley.
You said Pat Riley?
Pat Riley. Yes,
okay.
Robert Phil Jack.
All right. Favorite dunker of all time.
Dawkins. Daryl Dawkins.
Okay. Chocolate Thunder, rest in peace. Favorite team of all time.
Well, okay. 73 Knicks.
Okay. Most dominant player of all time.
Hate to say it, but it has to be Jordan.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about, we got questions about Karl Malone and we got questions about Larry Bird. So since it's Mo and Dana, I'm gonna let y'all handle it. I'm gonna let y'all do this thing yourselves. I'm gonna sit back and listen to y'all.
There's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about.
Dana's a hater.
Dana's a hater. That man was trash.
All right, so
wait. Okay. Three. What call it? 3 in a row. Before that, 3 second finishes. Man, you crazy.
So Dana, let me ask you a question. So do you think Larry Bird was overrated because he won the MVP 3 years in a row?
No, because it was just overteaming.
Because he was what?
I'm joking. No, Larry Bird was just there. He was like blah. He was like just in case push this button.
Oh, just in case break the glass, right? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Dana.
Mo, you want to comment on that?
I wish he was on camera right now.
I wish he was on camera.
Because I want him to say that with a straight face. Because there's no way he's saying that with a straight face. Magic Johnson will call you blasphemous right now. He couldn't spell it, but he called you blasphemous.
Larry Bird was the truth.
All I gotta say is,
I hated it.
Charles Barkley right now just said Larry Bird just rolled over his grave.
Would you say, Dana?
Larry Bird died.
No, Charles always said people dead when they're alive.
All right. So now I'm gonna do with Mo. Karl Malone, who was third in scoring, you call him overrated?
Yes.
Why? Yes. No, but it ain't got to do with Stockton now. This ain't got, because Stockton ain't.
It has to do with
Stockton.
It has to do with Stockton.
But it doesn't. It doesn't. It has to do with Karl Malone.
I'm sorry. You got the weakest. You got the weakest dunk ever.
You got the weakest dunk ever.
I'm sorry, left hand because he dunked with his right hand. Because he couldn't dunk with his left hand. And it is mostly because he's just a bad person. in general.
In general.
And he wanted to rate Kobe White. I read that. I was like, wow.
I couldn't hear what Dana said.
What'd you say,
He
Dana?
said he wanted.
What'd you say, Dana?
Dana said, Karl Malone.
He wanted to get with Kobe White so bad.
Oh yeah.
And you know they was having some.
yeah.
They was having some issues out there. Hey, Akeem Olajuwon he was just on my phone. Akeem Olajuwon, on the Bulls winning 8. Come on, stop. On Akeem Olajuwon on the Bulls winning 8 titles in a row. If Magic Johnson, he said, if MJ never retired, it seems, and he got a thing. And I always said that I wanted Akeem Olajuwon against the Bulls. That would have been a match made in heaven for real. So getting back to Karl Malone. So Mo, we can't put Stockton in this at all.
How?
He's one of the most overrated guys.
He couldn't. Okay. Where did you see Karl
Malone make points from?
In the paint.
Who got him the ball?
John Stockton.
Okay. What about all his dunks? Fed him.
John Stockton.
Yeah.
So can you say that about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Kareem played with Oscar Robertson. He played with Magic.
So he played with Oscar Robertson. He played with Oscar Robertson. He played with Oscar Robertson, who had a first triple double. He played with Magic Johnson, who was probably one of the best point guards in the NBA. There's no comparisons to that with Karl Malone. I mean, with John Stockton.
There are two major shots that people think about. Not dunks. Shots. Two different shots. What are the two shots?
The hook shot
and
the dunk.
No, not a dunk. That's not a shot.
Hook shot.
Finger roll.
The Iceman, George Gervin. Finger roll.
Those are the two shots you think about. What do you think about when you think about Karl Malone?
Yeah, I think he was a post player. You need to stop, man. Yo, he posed.
He's doing what he was trying to do. What he was doing to Kobe. Twice.
Yo, see, that's a low blow. I'm gonna say this. I'm not a big John Stockton fan for real, because I don't think John Stockton should have been an All-Star on the NBA. I mean, on the Olympic team. That should have been an Isaiah Thomas spot. But that's a different story for a different day.
Man,
but I don't take nothing away from Karl Malone.
I'm gonna hate on y'all for hating on white boys. Next, you gonna say Pistol Pete wasn't nice with the basketball.
Yo, I'm just saying. You
didn't go at Dave.
You
didn't go at Dave for talking
about Larry Bird.
But I'm just saying, John Stockton wasn't better than Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. No, he might have been a better point guard than Isaiah, but he wasn't. He probably been a pure point guard because maybe that's what they needed in the Olympics. But Isaiah didn't get there because you had too many haters that wanted to be there. Let's keep it real now.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
I can see that.
Be the boss.
But it is what it is, and the sad part about it is, Isaiah would never be able to get a whole Olympic gold medal because of that, and I think he deserved to be on the team. I'm not saying him and John Stockton both couldn't have been on the team, but we know why Isaiah wasn't on the team because it's been said, and there's people saying that it wasn't Michael Jordan. Pittman said it wasn't Michael Jordan that didn't want him on the team. It was other players that went on the team. But why? Because he was boisterous. He was boisterous. But the thing about it is, they're going to Olympics.
But you got to think about it. Isaiah had all that stuff that he said about Larry Bird. He said Larry Bird. If Larry Bird, he would be another thing.
Right. And Larry Bird talked about all of them too.
Yeah, Larry even said after the game, they had a game together. Larry went to a press conference with him and said, I just want to get back to basketball. Isaiah and I are cool. Let's just get back to basketball. Can I leave now? Because I want to get back to basketball.
My favorite bird is Larry Bird Mom. He said Magic Johnson is the best player in the NBA.
Larry Bird's mama
That's
racist too.
What else was he supposed to say, Dana? What else was he supposed to say? What else was he supposed to say,
Larry Bird
Dana?
is the best player.
Larry Bird is the
He
best
said
player.
Larry Bird.
He
He said
said
Magic Johnson is the best player.
Magic Johnson is the best player.
Larry Bird probably was the most S talker that poo-poo talker in the NBA. They had an article that said, who was it? Who was talking about
I read that too.
Dominic.
Oh, who was
Dominic.
it?
Dominic.
No, somebody else that was talking trash to him. Oh my God! Who was
It was. I
Oh,
know
it was. I know what you're talking about.
No, it was.
No,
it was a rookie.
No, it wasn't Dominic.
It was a rookie.
It was a rookie.
It was oh my goodness!
They had the one about KG
They
talking
had the
trash
one about
to Jordan.
KG talking trash to Jordan.
He said something about Larry Bird, you're over the hill and you this, you that, and this, that, and whatever. Larry went out and torched him or whatever, and I don't know. But Larry was
it Xavier McDaniels?
No, it wasn't him.
My favorite Larry Bird.
My favorite Larry Bird
story is
Larry Bird story.
When they talked about putting a statue of Dominique in front of Atlanta. Larry Bird said, "I bet you it's not in the defense."
"I bet you it's not in the defense code."
Because Dominic was all explosive. That was a bad boy, man. Dominic was bad. He just
but he couldn't defend for anything.
But he couldn't defend for anything.
And even when he came to Boston, he was basically over the hill at the time, but still, man, that dude he was bad. He was a bad boy. He was a bad boy.
Yeah.
Let's see. We can do the football thing next week. Real quick, going into football. Let's see what we got here.
Man, you can always say Aaron Rodgers.
Real quick for basketball. What team do you guys think should just blow up and start all over? I have the Portland Trail Blazers, Minnesota Timberwolves, Charlotte Hornets, Chicago Bulls, and the Toronto Raptors. The Bulls, the only thing that I can say about the Bulls, if they could find them a pure point guard, I think you're okay. But everybody else, Minnesota, I think they're exploding. Charlotte Hornets definitely got to do something with Charlotte. Charlotte definitely got to they got too much money in Charlotte right now and not winning. Toronto Raptors, they fired Nick Nurse, and Nick Nurse was supposed to be the front runner for the Houston Rockets, which we already know that I am Udoka got that job. So we got the Pistons and the Raptors job still out there. Sam Cassell was supposed to be the favorite to get the Rockets job. So Sam Cassell might end up going to the Pistons. So do you guys see anybody else out there in the NBA that need to get for the team that need to get blown up other than ones I just said? Okay.
My Wizards need a big man. I mean, they are tied for the 7th pick of the NBA draft. But if they got a good chance, if they get to the 1 pick, they can get that 7'2" guy, and they have their big man with a future. Then they got a team. If not, they get that point guard for Alabama.
You know what I gotta say about Wembanyama? I think he's gonna be a good basketball player, but he ain't gonna be good next year. He has to put on some weight. And the thing about it, if he don't go to the right team, I'm not disagreeing with that. Listen to what I'm saying to you. He needs to gain weight. Okay. And what has happened in the past is you had guys come into the NBA that needed to gain, like he needs to gain at least 60 pounds for real. Let's keep it real. He needs to gain at least 60 pounds to be able to pound the ball down low or go get some guys that's big. Okay. And what happens is when they start gaining this weight, then the knees start bothering, then the back start bothering. You look at what happened to Ben Simmons his first year he came in, he gained all that weight, he had a stress fracture, couldn't play. Look at Embiid, the same thing happened to Embiid. Look at Joey Port. Look at the Porter kid in Denver had back issues. So whatever team he goes to, hopefully they bring him along slowly because he has talent. He's a very talented young man. My issue with that would
now,
be
why you mash him like Simmons? Simmons lost hard.
no. I'm talking about at the I'm talking about at the very beginning of his career. Okay. The problem with Ben Simmons was Ben Simmons gained over 20-some pounds in less than 3 weeks. And that's how he ended up getting a stress fracture. Right? So that he couldn't play.
No, when they told him to shoot,
no.
Shoot that playoff card, what he did?
No, you're not, Mr. Davis, you're not listening to me. I'm talking about at the very beginning of his career. At the very beginning of his career with Philadelphia, he gained 20 pounds, right? So when you gain 20 pounds on your body that you normally don't have 20 pounds on, something's going to give. He got the stress fracture in his foot, so he couldn't play he couldn't play his first year. That's why he ended up winning the Rookie of the Year the following year, because I'm like, he's not a rookie. Once you come to the league, if you don't play, you don't play. You don't get Rookie of the Year because you got hurt. They need to stop that nonsense. So basically what they did with Ben Simmons was to help him get through all of this, all his exercises he did, his conditioning, his weightlifting, everything he did was in water, because water is a resistance, but it can't hurt you. You can't hurt you to lift. When you lift a weight, you can hurt yourself lifting the weight. So Ben Simmons basically trained that season in water, in the swimming pool to help that stress fracture, which he never really had a problem with that before. After that fact, but he got problems with his back. I got problems with knee. But the thing about it is, whoever gets this kid, if they can develop him the right way, then he's going to be a good. But don't bring him here really fast. Look at Zion right now. This dude is one crawl leg away from 500 pounds. If he eats another crawl leg, another cluster, he's another cluster of crawfish or whatever crawl days, alligators, whatever he eats down. Yeah, whatever he eats down there is going to be a problem. Right?
Hey, he
but it was a problem.
He that jambalaya.
Now look at Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett was skinny. He always was skinny, but Kevin Garnett played hard.
But you know what Kevin Garnett did though? Kevin Garnett stayed in the weight room. He worked on his game. Kevin loved basketball. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, Kevin didn't come from money. So Kevin came in the NBA and he said, I'm gonna make sure I'm taking care of me, myself, and my family. And that's what he did. And and if you listen to Kevin Garnett talk, Kevin Garnett till this day still has not bought anything with his paychecks. Everything he lives off is his endorsements. So he's a really smart guy. Okay. Where Ben Simmons was a different type of animal. You know what I'm saying? And we're at the point now where Ben Simmons, go ahead, Mo.
He got a divorce.
Half that money gone.
Who? Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever.
What's the song?
It's cheaper to keep on.
Man, let me tell you this right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm sorry. This is my thing though. I understand you giving your significant other some money, but have she bounced a basketball? Has she lifted a weight? Has she traveled across the world? Has she did anything? Were you
shooting in the gym?
Were you shooting in the gym?
That's what I'm talking about. Were you doing anything?
Were you shooting in the gym?
Was you doing anything? Was you doing anything? I'm gonna leave it at that.
What about that guy for the Knicks? That woman getting almost 80% of his money.
Who's that?
He's a second-year player for the Knicks. He's playing now, and his ex-wife and his daughter getting 80% of his check. Of his check.
Mo has
so he needs for the next 18 years old.
Mo has sent me an article about a guy that plays soccer that's married, and I think his mom is his financial advisor, and she takes care of all his money. The wife don't get anything.
No,
She don't get
no, it's
anything.
even better than that.
No, it's even better than that.
Go ahead, Mo.
What happened is,
What happened is,
yes, no, even funnier,
yes,
even funnier.
no,
His paycheck goes to his mama. So, and his mother gives him money. So when the wife went to divorce him, he has no assets. The house is not even his name, it's in his mama's name. So he has avoided the situation. But I told Kev that I'd be worried about Uncle Earl. Either Uncle Earl being your drunk uncle or Uncle Earl being the man that your mama with that's gonna be taking your money. So I'd be more I worry about my wife, but I'd also worry about Uncle Earl as well because I can't trust my mom.
So guys, so there's always a way when there's no way. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's move on. Let's move on, man. We got about half an hour left. All right, before the Jets made the trade today.
Kev,
Who?
before we move on, I
Yes,
just
go
want
ahead.
people
before
to
we
know
move on, I just want people to know
half of nothing
half of nothing
is nothing.
is nothing.
And that's what she got.
And
And that's
what
why
she
I'm
got.
laughing about
And
it.
that's why I'm laughing about it.
All right, guys. Before the Jets made the trade today, I want you guys to think about this. Don't think about Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets right now. Just what you guys think about it right now. In the AFC, guys, which team do you think goes from worst to first? You have the New York Jets, the Cleveland Browns, the Houston Texans, and the Denver Broncos. Mr. Davidson, out of them 4 teams, who you think can go from worst to first?
Broncos, Sean Payton.
I'm not going to even see this in Broncos. Who the other two?
You got the Jets, the Browns, the Texans, and the Broncos. Mr. Davidson, who do you think can go from worst to first?
I got my Jets outfit on now, so I'm going with the Jets. They my AFC team.
Mo, who you got?
Get off of mute.
Mo?
Get off of mute.
Sorry, I couldn't get off of mute. I turned off my camera.
Okay.
I turned off my camera.
Okay.
I hate to say this, but
I hate to say this, but
from worst to first is the Browns.
Worst to first is the Browns.
Okay. Dana, who you got?
I have the Broncos.
Lou, who you got?
The Jet fan, losing.
Well, I don't think. I mean, I think it's great that just got the trade that we're looking for. I mean, we're going to get Rodgers, but I don't think it's going to get the first place. I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Okay, I'm gonna post it on the page, see what happens too. I gotta go with the Browns. I'm not because I'm a Browns fan, but they made some moves. They've been under the wire. I mean, if you think about the offense they got right now with Deshaun Watson, and I think Kareem Hunt might end up coming back with Chubbs. They got another running back there. You got a good tight. You got a tight end in the Joku. You got 2 good wide receivers. And the only thing they're gonna do is add to what they have right now through the draft. I think the Browns are the team right now. They got good defense. I just think they're prime right now to be that team to go from worst to first. In the NFC, we have the Washington Commanders, Chicago Bears, the Atlanta Falcons, Arizona Cardinals. I'm going with the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears going to turn that corner because what's the name leaving? Aaron Rodgers leaving. I think they have a really good chance. So I got the Bears. Lou, who you got?
Well, my brother happy. I'll go with the Bears.
Mr. Davidson, who you got?
Well, one player of taking over the NFC East. I'm saying my Washington Commanders. They're gonna get that tight end from Utah, and that's what he's going to take over the offense, and that's that.
Dana, who you got?
I got to agree with Mr. Davis. helped us win championships. The quarterback hurt that team. That defense was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mo.
We should have been in the wild card, not Dallas.
Right. Mo.
Did you say Atlanta and Carolina?
Did you say Atlanta and Carolina?
No, I said the Falcons. Man, stop playing. I said the Washington Commanders, Chicago Bears, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, that's the team right there.
That's the team right
The
there.
Arizona Cardinals.
The Arizona Cardinals.
But San Francisco still good.
But San
I'm going with
Francisco still
Atlanta
good.
because
I'm
Tom
going with
Brady's
Atlanta
gone.
because Tom Brady's
Carolina
gone.
ain't good.
Carolina
New
ain't
Orleans,
good.
we
New Orleans,
know Derek Carr can't make the playoffs.
Derek Carr can't make the playoffs.
So Atlanta trades for Lamar Jackson after the draft.
After the draft.
There it is. The Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
The Atlanta Falcons.
They don't trade for
All right,
Lamar.
guys.
They don't
I
trade for
rescind my
Lamar.
comment.
I rescind my comment.
All right. So DeAndre Hopkins is up for trade. What team do you think he best fits? Mr. Davidson, we're gonna go with you first. You have the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, New Orleans Saints, New York Giants, or the Tennessee Titans. What do you think? What do you think DeAndre Hopkins fits well?
I'm gonna say the Giants. The Giants need wide receivers like I need another leg. So I would say the Giants because the Giants. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they could have easily beat anybody. Even the Cowboys. So I would say the Giants.
Okay, Lou, who you think?
I'll go with the Bills. That might be just we need to get back to the Super Bowl.
Okay. Dana?
I'm going Kansas City Chiefs. We'll have Tariq Hill 2.0.
Mo?
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything. What'd
you say?
DeAndre Hopkins. Where do you think he best fits at?
Still Baltimore. It'd be amazing to have put him and OBJ on the opposite side, and then put Bateman in the middle.
So okay. So so now I'm gonna go myself. I think Kansas City would probably be a better fit for him. But you brought up the Ravens because they wasn't on the list, so that's another team. So do you think the Ravens have enough to give Arizona Cardinals draft picks to bring the Andre Hopkins there?
Yeah. Because the problem is they haven't given up their draft picks. Well, they gave up some for
Roquan Smith.
So what if you're Arizona Cardinals, what are you asking for?
I'm asking for a second.
This year.
I'm asking for a conditional pick, just like Aaron Rodgers got. Probably a third next year, or so I'm trying to get. I don't think you're going to get a first this year because he's making too much money as a wide receiver. So the contract's going to have to be redone.
Well, see, but that's what I'm going to go to because of the money he's making. He's going to restructure his contract because Baltimore don't have no money now. They're strapped right now. They're hoping to get Lamar signed. And I'm thinking more and more. And I'm gonna say this. I don't know now. I'm on the fence about where he's gonna go. I'm on the fence if he gets to stay, if he stays in Baltimore now. Where we at? So all right, guys. So now you know you guys. We know that now the NFL. Myself on mute. Okay, so now you know the NFL is you're allowed to bet on NFL, which it causes problems right now in NFL. You have a couple players for the Lions, and somebody else, I think for the for the Redskins, I think it was.
For the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean the Commanders. Yeah,
the Commanders.
Same difference. They got suspended for betting on games. I don't know what they got suspended for. I don't know exactly what it is. They got better. But the two wide receivers, Cortez, CJ Moore, suspended indefinitely and subsequently released by the team.
Shaka Tony for the Commanders for betting against other teams.
So were they betting on football games?
They were betting on football games.
Stupid.
Right. And so when you bet against other football teams, they gotta have your name and your ID.
So they didn't try to hide who they were. They didn't say, "Hey, Joe Blow,
when you
go Joe Blow, can you bet this money for me on this team or anything like that?" They ain't trying to do that.
Yeah, you can't. When you betting, like them fools was betting they own that. See, when you make a bet, like in DC, when you make a bet, you know, because the MGM has a betting thing, and you use your ID. Every time you make a bet, you gotta pull out your ID. Because you have to be 18 or older to make a bet.
Hey Mo.
And you have to use your own ID.
Mo, can you do me a favor?
What's that, bro?
Jameson Williams.
Mm-hmm. 6 games. Mm-hmm. 6 games.
Where did he go to college at? Can you pull it up?
Alabama. I don't need to look that up. Alabama. I don't need to look that up.
Quintez Cyphers. You know what college he went to?
It's a good question. No, I'll have to look him up.
CJ Moore.
Quintez, what's the last name? Cephas?
Cephas.
He went to Wisconsin Madison.
What about CJ Moore?
He went to Mississippi.
I'm just asking because I'm like, you went to college for a reason. That means you can read and write. I'm hoping you can. I'm hoping that you're just not a football player that couldn't read or write. But this is nonsense. This is really nonsense for them guys to do this. And I didn't know that. I didn't know who they was betting on, anything like that. I'm glad Davidson told me the information of who they betted on and things of that nature, because that, to me, that just doesn't make any sense at all. And it says here, NFL non-sensible player gambling policy needs reviewed after suspensions. The NFL suspended Detroit Lions wide receiver Quintez Cyphers and defensive back CJ Moore, plus Washington Commanders defensive tackle Shaka Tony, through at least the conclusion of the 2023 season for betting on league games in 2022. The Lions responded by releasing Cyphers and Moore. Lions wideout Jameson Wilson and Stanley Berryhill were also suspended for 6 games in 2023 for what the team said were other gambling policy violations, including betting from the NFL facility on non-NFL games. The actions raises some questions. Why did the players think they could get away with this? How do anyone find out about this? But here's another one. Will this go down as a tale of player stupidity or NFL hypocrisy? How about both? There's no defending the action of Cyphers, Moore, and Tony, who apparently tried to make a little pocket change by placing wagers on NFL games. And Berryhill and Williams should have known better than to place a bet on other teams while at work, since that indeed something of NFL gambling policy for players forbids. Every May, each team player development department shows a video of coverage the do's and don'ts of sports betting. Players are reminded of the policy with the return from training camp, and then the reminders continues to circulate during the regular season. I don't feel sorry for those guys. I don't understand what they were thinking about, why they did what they did, but now they're moneyless, they're teamless, and can't play less at all. That's what happens. Next up is Dan Snyder era may divulge Commanders, but still have cash in hand. So Mr. Davidson, We were talking last week about Dan Snyder selling the team and getting that $7 billion or $6 billion. And in the clause, it says he cannot be sued after the sale of the team, which is a bunch of malarkey. But that's what, see, I'm just saying, you know, I just don't understand this. Now, this is the weird part about it, though. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this, Mr. Davis. I'm gonna let you know that they saying that some of this money that's being that the new owner is coming from Saudi Arabia. That's the issue because they don't know where this money coming from. So there might be a little snag in the sale of this team right now. And this is and isn't Magic Johnson? Isn't Magic Johnson part of this team that's the team being sold to?
Yes.
Okay, but what happened is the NFL owners, they want him to make sure he pays all his debts, all of it, before the sale becomes final. See, because the NFL has to vote on that. They can say it's null and void. That means he can't get no money. He still has to pay all of the debts that he has to pay. And see, they say, you know what trying to do is get nothing. You can't sell the team, but you won't get no profit out of it. You be an owner without a team now. So you will be in trouble either way.
Well, but the thing about it is, though.
Remember,
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
But the owners have the government on their side. And see, the government will be the insurance not to pay all of their debt. Because if they run that investigation like they were going to do, the Snyder might go to jail. And I don't think he wants to go to jail because of it.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now. And if anybody on this panel disagree with me, let's talk about it. I think he's gonna sell the team, and whatever happens is gonna be underneath the rug, because that, like he said, I got dirt on everybody in the league, every owner in the league. He got dirt on them. Now, you know, what Dan Snyder might do is he might say, I want to write a book. And when I die, write this book so I can tell everybody, because they can't do nothing to me then. I'm dead. Don't matter. You know what I'm saying? But I think this is what's going to happen. I think there's going to be so much stuff that's going to be slid underneath the rug now, because they want to get him out of there. They want to get him out of there because they got a time frame of when they want to build this new stadium and stuff like that. They want to get that done. They want to start building that new stadium before winter hits. So I think that Dan Snyder's in a win-win situation, so is the NFL. But from our standpoint, Dan Snyder needs to be accountable for a lot of stuff that he did that he's not going to be accountable for, and that's not fair to the people that he hurt, the females that he disgraced, and this is my thing though, guys. When it comes to a situation like that, when it comes to females, if you have a daughter, just put your daughter in a position of that right there, and I guarantee you change your mind and the thought process that you think of what you want to do to that young lady or do with that young lady, and she's not willing to do that. It doesn't make, to me, it's really disheartening how they did the cheerleaders there, the pay that the cheerleaders get paid. And I'm gonna be honest with you, cheerleaders don't get paid nothing. And if I'm a cheerleader, I'm going on strike this year. Y'all gonna pay me some real money. Y'all gonna pay me some real money. And they say, well, we will get some more cheerleaders. No, if the women stand together and don't cheer for any team, because I think Steelers, do Steelers got cheerleaders, Mo?
No.
And I think Pittsburgh is probably the only team right now that don't have. I know the Browns didn't have them, but I think the Browns got them now. But I think Pittsburgh's the only team that don't have cheerleaders.
You mean the Browns the only one that don't have pretty cheerleaders? Well,
the cheerleaders they got, they're from Pittsburgh, so if they're ugly because they're from Pittsburgh. But
that's a good comeback.
The thing about it is, though, But the thing about it is, though, is that, I mean, you know, Dan Snyder's gonna walk away with a big profit. And we've all said on the show that he needs to give some money back to some charities to make it right for us. Even though he's getting ready to get paid some money. He's getting ready to get paid a lot of money to walk away from this team after all the stuff he did. And I think the reason why the owners was really pissed with him because he got over on the owners too when it came to the money from the ticket sales. So they're not happy.
Oh, in other words, the pot.
Yeah, they're not happy with him at all when it comes
because
to
all put into a pot.
Yeah, they're not happy with him at all when it comes to that right there. All right, guys, we got about 15 minutes left. Let's go ahead and look at the draft real quick. There was something else I wanted to talk about too. It got something to do with the draft. I can't think of it now. But where we were at where we at 15, right?
11.
Number 11.
Number 11. So we're at number 11 with the Tennessee Titans. Dana, you got your list? Mo, go ahead, Dan. While you looking, Mo, who you got at number 11? Tennessee Titans. Do they trade that pick or do they pick?
I think we had them moving
up to before.
Okay.
So I think they're going to try and move up for a quarterback to get one of those top four. They are not believing in Malik Willis.
And that's crazy, man. I mean, you think about that Malik Willis thing is he put him in a game and the preseason take him out of the game and said, yo, you can't run. But that's what he did in college. You drafted him for that. He did that.
Yeah, but they're saying that we know you can run. We want to see if you can play quarterback. So I think they're going to try and move into a different position.
Oh, Jesus. All right, so, stupid guy. So I'm gonna say I think they trade down and they go after Anthony Richardson. David,
trade down or trade up?
What you got?
Trade down or trade up?
Trade up. Trade up.
I think Dallas gonna. I think the Jets gonna trade up and get a receiver.
So you think the Jets are gonna trade? The Jets would trade with Titans at number 11?
Yeah, I think they're just going to trade with the Titans and get a receiver. Or a running back. I mean, only they trade up at number 10 with Philly and get Dijon for Texas, the running back.
The running back, okay.
That's something that Aaron Rodgers never had in his life as a great running back. So they may trade up with Philly to get my man from Texas.
Okay.
Lou, what you got?
Mamar Green.
Yeah, trade up. And
okay, you said trade too?
I think he's done it. Yes.
Okay. Dana, what you got?
Actually, they're going running back.
The running back from Texas?
Yeah. You're talking about like they don't have Derrick Henry.
Well, I mean, Derrick Henry's on the trading block. They keep saying Derrick Henry going to the Eagles.
He's not going to the Eagles.
Know.
He's not going to the Eagles.
But I'm gonna say this though: if they trade Derrick Henry, then Tannehill's probably going too. They're gonna start over from the beginning. Because then I just think they're gonna start over. If they trade Derrick Henry, then they're saying we're giving up on this year as far as doing anything going forward. Number 12 is the Texans via the Cleveland Browns. On my paper here, they have Nolan Smith, edge runner from Georgia. Dana, what you got?
I got it.
You say you agree?
Yeah,
No, I'm sorry.
that's what I got too. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what they said.
All right. Lou, what you got? Okay. Mr. Davidson, who you got?
You know what? I'm gonna have to go with that too. I had them earlier, but I'm gonna say that after certain things happen.
Okay. Mo.
Thinking they're gonna take a tackle because they need to protect their rookie
because they
quarterback.
need to protect their rookie
I'm
quarterback.
thinking the first tackle
I'm
comes
thinking
off
the
either
first tackle comes
Skoronsky
off either
or
Skoronsky
Jones.
or Jones.
Okay, so you said tackle.
Yep.
Yep.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick. And this might take off the path that we're doing right now. But if the Texans doesn't take a quarterback, so okay, so Carolina's first. They're saying Bryce Young is the dude for them. Okay. Then you have the Texans is number 2. And if I've been on record to say that the Texans need more than the quarterback. If I'm the Texans, I'm waiting on Mr. Williams for next season. Okay. And I think Tennessee will probably do the same thing. But if the Texans doesn't take CJ Stroud, do you see him falling out of the top 10? Mo.
No, I see him going
I see
at
him going
latest number 4.
at latest number 4.
The Colts will not let him go past number
Colts would not
3.
let
But
him
I
go
think
past
somebody
number
would trade
3.
up to
But I
number
think
3 to
somebody
get
would
him.
trade up to number 3 to get him.
Who do you
So I
think
don't
that
see him
might be?
dropping past
So I
4.
don't see him dropping past 4.
If it's somebody, it's the
If it's
Falcons.
somebody, it's the Falcons.
It could also be the
It
Raiders.
could also
It
be
also
the
could be the
Raiders.
Titans.
It also could be the Titans.
I
Okay.
don't think there's any way he gets
I don't
past
think
3.
there's any way he gets
Because
past
it
3.
could even be the Colts
Because
trading
it
up to
could
3
even
to
be the
get him.
Colts trading up to 3 to get him.
Okay. Okay. So at number
I
13,
think the Colts will get it.
you think the Colts will get him?
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys a question. So do you think Bryce Young is 1, CJ Stroud's 2. Who's the third quarterback that you think in that order that could be next in drafting?
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson.
What's his name? Levis?
From Kentucky?
He's 4th.
Yeah, Will Lewis.
Okay. And you got Levis and you got Anthony Richardson. That's 5 quarterbacks, right? We're talking about 5. Is that 4? 4.
Herndon Hooker's the 5th one.
Herndon Hooker's the 5th one.
5th one. Okay. So let me ask you guys a question. And see, this is where it gets kind of iffy. We're gonna go off the path right now. So if you look at the draft itself, okay, and I'm gonna pull something up because I got some notes here. And in the draft, it tells you what's your needs and what's your wants. Okay. So since Chicago is not in the number 1 spot in the Panthers, we already know that Bryce Young is going there.
I don't know about that.
The
I think
Texans-
they're
I
still
think
considering
they're
CJ
still
Stroud.
considering CJ Stroud.
Who didn't go to the workout? Who said they're not working on them? Was it Bryce Young?
Bryce Young says he wasn't working
Bryce
out, but
Young
he
says
had
he
already worked out the 2
He had already worked out the 2
for both the for the Texans
for the Texans
and
But then he
also
stopped
the
after
and
that,
also
right?
the
But then
and
he
the
stopped.
Panthers.
and the
He
Panthers.
stopped after the Texans.
Yeah, he stopped after the Texans.
Okay, that's why I think Bryce Young is going to be that guy, because every other place he said I'm not going work out no more.
But the
I think
Texans
they're
is
already.
number 1.
But
He's
the
number
Texans
2.
is number 1. He's number 2.
But didn't he work out for the Texans? I mean, didn't he work out for the Panthers?
He worked out for the Panthers first,
He
then the
worked out for the
Texans.
Panthers
He
first.
hasn't worked
then
out
the
since
Texans.
the
Right.
He hasn't worked out since the Texans.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's why I think the Panthers told him, Bryce Young, you're going to be our number 1 pick. You just can't tell nobody because he hasn't worked out for anybody else.
I think the Texans probably told him, we'll pick you if you're at number 2. And just don't work out for anybody else.
Just don't work out for anybody else. Because he had already worked out for the Panthers.
Okay, that makes sense. So the Texans are number 2. They need a quarterback, offensive lineman, and defensive lineman. And I've gone on record and said if I'm the Texans, I'm not. I got so many holes I need to fill. I'm not taking a quarterback because I got a quarterback in the making next year coming out. I tank again this year and I get the #1 pick, and now I got Mr. Williams from USC. Unless if he gets hurt, then I got to
want to be a Dolphin.
Dana, stop, Dana.
Go look it up. Go look it up.
I want to play basketball for the Boston Celtics too.
Well, you can play after you read that interview.
I mean, he can say what he want to say. He can say what he want to say, but it's probably not going to happen. Especially if he comes back and he's in the he doesn't even have to win the Heisman next year again. But to be in a running, if he's in the top 4 of runnings of a Heisman, he's going to be one for sure. Because we already know if he came out last year, he'd have been the #1 draft pick quarterback. If he come out this year, it would be hands down he would be #1. So unless the Miami Dolphins got a whole lot of draft picks, he'll be playing against them for the next 4 or 5 years. So the Cardinals are #3, which now it was the Detroit Lions, right?
No, it's always
Lions got that right.
It's always been the Cardinals.
Okay, Cardinals. They're not looking for a quarterback. The Colts are #4, which they're not #4 no more, right? They traded with the Lions.
They're still #4.
They're still #4.
Who got you?
They're still #4.
Remember, it was just the cornerback.
The quarterback.
It was the previous #3 pick.
Pick.
Okay, so the Colts need a quarterback. So we're looking at 1 and 2 quarterbacks leaving. Seattle at #5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They need a quarterback.
No, not really. They believe in Geno Smith.
Yes, they do.
I think Geno Smith. I think Geno's good there. I think Geno's good there. They're saying they want an edge rusher, defensive lineman, or wide receiver. Ain't no quarterback going there. The Lions need a quarterback. Anybody?
Yeah, they do.
No.
Jared Goff ain't gonna be there
They're
forever.
saying they're saying defensive back, defensive lineman, linebacker. They're looking at free. They look at doing some. But now after they lost 2 wide receivers, they may be looking a different direction. #7 is the Raiders. Quarterback, offensive lineman.
They got Jimmy G now. They got Jimmy G now.
Yeah, this is after they got Jimmy G.
Yeah, I think they're going cornerback.
The Falcons
or tackle.
They got a quarterback.
The Falcons.
They got my former quarterback.
The Falcons got the edge rusher, wide receiver, corner. And you got. I just don't. I don't see a bunch of quarterbacks going in the top rounds unless somebody moves down and wants to get them. The Titans, I see, probably need a quarterback for the future because they don't believe in the boy they got right now.
They got one.
The Lions, I kind of understand what Mo you're talking about, but I think they want to ride out with Goff, and they want to do something on the defensive end. You know, they got a good quarterback in the one guy, but they want to get somebody else there. So that's where I see this going, guys. I'm just curious because I was reading something the other day about the quarterbacks. They're saying how they think that there's going to be a run of quarterbacks. Like there's going to be 5 quarterbacks that's going to get drafted in the first round. And I'm saying I don't know if that's to be true unless you're going to get a quarterback and you're going to sit him down. Like the kid from Tennessee, wherever he goes, he's not going to play. He has to rehab that shoulder. So,
well, you still got the guy from Kentucky.
I'm not sold on him.
You got the guy from TCU.
I'm not sold on him either.
He just had one bad game.
And then
he
you
had
and
no
then
help
and then
on
you
the
got
offensive
the
side.
quarterback from Georgia in there as well.
Nah, he started drinking right now. You got to get that problem.
Who's the quarterback for who's the quarterback for the Commanders?
We had the backup from Cleveland. We got the guy from Kentucky, from North Carolina, and then we got Jeff Farm from Georgia.
Okay.
So we good. I know who we gonna get. We may trade up for. We may trade up for my man from Tennessee, the running back. But don't be surprised because Tennessee got to get rid of him. They only got $6 million in cap, and his price tag is $16.5 million.
So Washington Redskins got 3 quarterbacks that equal 1, maybe.
No, I said equal 2 because remember the Cleveland Browns quarterback gave good for y'all. Now Winston was out.
Yeah, but I like Jacoby Brissett. He's only good for 3rd down and 1 or half an inch. He's good.
That's all right. 3rd and 1 is better enough.
His arm, he don't have the arm strength and to throw down the field. That was one of his biggest problems.
But that North Carolina quarterback, he do, and he beat the Cowboys last year. He crushed them.
I don't know. Hey guys, it's 9 o'clock, man, and I appreciate you guys hanging in with me for this hour and a half. I mean, it's 2.5 hours. We got a lot done today. We talked to a lot of sports guys. I appreciate you guys coming on. The draft is this weekend, right? So it should be pretty interesting.
Thursday, Friday, and the whole weekend.
It should be really interesting.
I have something to say.
Go ahead, Dana.
The NBA is rigged.
You just found it out.
The Lakers jumped on the Grizzlies 35-9. Grizzlies could have hit nothing. But then the Lakers with Xbox and some shit for anybody.
Well, Dana, what you gotta understand. But see, Dana, what you fail to understand is the NBA that you're watching now is not the same NBA that we watched before. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has that killer instinct no more in the NBA because everybody's friends. It's as simple as that. They're friends. They are friends. I love what Brooks did. I love the attitude that some of these young players are bringing to the table. But at the end of the day, they're like, yo, young man, sit down. You're doing too much. You're making me nervous. Sit down. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, AAU is killing basketball, man, because everybody plays with everybody and they're friends. You know what I'm saying? So that has to stop at some point in time. Simple as that. All right, guys, y'all have a good week, man, and we will go over the records, the records that might be broken in the NFL next week. You guys got that? I get it to y'all, so we keep that intact. Other than that, man, you guys have a good night. God bless. Be safe. I'm trying to think. Oh, and I think it was Oklahoma where they had the shooting, so keep those people in prayer as well. Again, we only had one person that called into the show out of 10 people that said they wanted to call in. And so
was he right?
No need to.
Was he right?
Yeah, he was right. The Baltimore Ravens was the only team that never had a Pro Bowl wide receiver. So he qualifies for next week. He qualifies for next week trivia question, which is going to be it's one question with 3 answers to it. So hopefully we can get more participation from people. I guess nobody wants a $50 gift card. Nobody wants some gear. So he won. He gets a gift card.
What time you start? 6 o'clock?
Say what?
What time you start? 6 o'clock?
6:30.
I'll be on there 6 o'clock, just waiting for y'all.
I added 30 minutes so we could get over everything. All right, guys, man. Hey, I love you guys. Y'all be safe. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. And
everything.
NBA, and actually, the NBA's on tonight. Real quick. Who we got? We got Milwaukee Bucks, and we got the Memphis Lakers game on 7:30. That game.
Lakers.
So that game's on right now. What is the score of that Milwaukee Bucks game?
Have you seen the Lakers? Have you seen the Lakers Wikipedia page? The Lakers Wikipedia page.
What did it say?
It's got a picture of Russell Westbrook. And Tristan Thompson on it.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, they got Westbrook is balling right now. It had to be the system, man. I'm telling you, he's balling. I never lost faith in Russell Westbrook at all, man, and I'm glad he's doing well. All right, guys, y'all guys be safe again, and we're out of here. We are out of here.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show. You have been entertained in the sports world by KDs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with a large heart, Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida, and Murray E. Baskin. Be more careful, Baltimore, Maryland. Remember, we throw stones and we do live in glass houses. Big-time players make big-time plays and big-time games. Be ready. You have been listening to an End-Zone Sports Talk Radio production. Remember, you can hear us again on Star107FM.com on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to End-Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Thank you for listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show. You have been entertained in the sports world by KDs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with a large heart, Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida, and Murray E. Baskin. Be more careful.